Hello and welcome to Bounding Live. My name is John Trent. I'm the editor-in-chief at Bounding Into Comics, and I am joined by my gang of co-hosts, Spencer Bakuli, Script Doctor, Don Edmonds, Drew Taylor, and Jorge Arenas will be joining us shortly. He is delayed right now, but he did say that he will be joining us. We'd like to also say hello to the chat. I see Vera Dark, fellow YouTuber, is there. Hello, Vera. Subhuman84. That seems like a new name. Welcome to Bounding Live. Appreciate you joining us. Lopter, Demon King of Inferno. No, you're not late, Lopter. We started about 40 seconds early. We decided to jumpstart the Gary time tonight. But how is everyone doing tonight? How are you guys doing?
Hanging in there, man. I had a big day of physical therapy.
Hey, that's good to hear, though. Any progress is progress, right?
Yeah. They pushed me quite a bit, so I'm kind of sore.
Well, that's good. What is the saying? No pain, no gain. So that's always a good thing. And you just keep at it, and you'll definitely work at it and get better, for sure. So we have a big show tonight. We're going to talk about some Batwoman. We're going to talk about some Star Wars rumors. We're going to talk about what else we got here on the list? We got J.K. Rowling. We're going to talk about some J.K. Rowling. Then we're going to talk about some Halle Berry. Some craziness going on with Halle Berry the past couple days. And then there's a ton of DC and Marvel rumors. And we'll probably get to that as well. And then maybe get into some DC Comics drama with Dean Cain. I don't think we covered that last week. I think that happened over the weekend. So we'll maybe get into that too, because I think that's some fun stuff to talk about there. But first, like we've been doing for the past month or so, we got some folks joining us. Deviant Porg, Mark63366. Hey, how's it going, guys? Glad you could join us. Appreciate it. But as we've done for the past, I'd say probably about 2 months now, we've probably been going on. We start every show talking about what we have been enjoying before we get into the meat of the show. So we'll start off with Spencer. What have you been enjoying, whether it's a video game, comic, TV show, movie? What are you doing? What have you been up to? Spencer?
Yeah, he must have stepped away.
All right, we will start with the Script Doctor then.
Oh, okay. Well, me and my girlfriend just finished watching The Prisoner, and she somewhat enjoyed it. She thought it kind of got a little off the rails at parts, which I can understand. It's some, I think, of an acquired taste for most of the episodes, but I mean, she kind of dug most of the show, and that's about it. Not much else going on there.
All right, yeah. So that's on Amazon. We talked about that a little bit last week. You can catch that on Amazon, right? Yeah,
we started it last week. I mean, I have the DVDs, but yes, if you don't, please go check it out on Amazon. It's a pretty. I think it's a pretty good show. Experiments with a lot of stuff. It's definitely an actor's show because the lead, Patrick McGowan, he wrote some of the episodes, and he gets to do a lot of cool stunts. And it's a cat and mouse type of game between him and the number twos. So yeah, it's I would say check it out. If you're not hooked by the first 3 episodes, then forget about it. But I think you'll be hooked after the first 3 episodes.
Awesome. All right, we do have some new folks joining us in the chat. Parrot Head, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Bad Bunny, looks like you're from Canada. From Canada, thank you for joining us. We appreciate. I'm sure Script Doctor appreciates his fellow Canadians joining in the chat.
All right, the hell of the Canadians. I'm kidding.
Especially the ones from Quebec, right, man? Those people. Man.
Those are Quebecers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Quebecers.
But Drew, what have you been checking out?
So recently, I know on the fourth, I did a nice little marathon of movies. I watched Top Gun, my old school, and Red Dawn, the original, and then of course
I hope so.
had to watch Independence Day. So those were the
I did too. I watched Independence Day. It was on TV. I watched it too.
so those were the three I watched then, and then recently, okay, so I kind of have a soft spot for like old B movies, right? And there was like old B movies from when I was younger, like the trauma movies. They were silly, kind of horror, a mixture of horror and just really just goofy B movie type stuff, and I loved them because script actor, Lloyd Kaufman, right?
Yeah, I've met him a few times. He's a fun guy.
And so Lloyd Kaufman, who was in charge of Trauma Studios, he did these movies, and they were funny as hell.
He still does them.
Yeah, and I watched the old Toxic Avenger movies. I watched Class of Nukem High again, and I watched Tromeo and Juliet, and those are great. I mean, they're just like over the top funny. They're a little gory, but it's not like gratuitous gore. It's like goofy.
Oh, sometimes it is gratuitous gore.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can
It's
see
put
that.
for laughs, not for shock. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
But it was very good. So the trauma films. If anybody likes like B movies, you're a fan of horror, go back and watch the trauma films if you can find them on the high seas or on a streaming site. Check that out. Yes, Mark, that's another one I'm going to watch soon. Samurai Cop. There was wasn't it there Sergeant Kabuki Man too. There was Sergeant Kabuki Man, I think. So I gotta watch those. But they're just fun across the board. So I highly suggest watching those.
Did you own most of those movies, or where did you watch them at?
I actually myself I may have watched them in an alternate manner, but
Okay.
but yeah, they were very good.
Okay.
Alternate.
Yes,
Jack
yes.
Sparrow there with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Don. What have you been checking out? How far have you made it in Dune? Did you get to the next page?
I got to the next page.
Yes.
I'm still
Progress.
I am still not out of Arrakis though. But here's the thing. I've been digging into some of the stuff for Darth Plagueis.
Oh,
Some of his lore. And
That is not canon anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. There might
Canon doesn't
be,
matter.
There might be something in the works with that. So stay tuned.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Like a video or?
Don, are you claiming yourself non-binary? I just wondered.
Anyway,
Good response. So what are you working on a video for Plagius?
can't say yet because I gotta.
Okay.
So a number of fandomist people have brought up to me that maybe we should do something while Hollywood's too afraid to get together to make actual films and make quality products. So thinking maybe it might be time to make a alternative.
All right.
Maybe.
Cool.
So
I'm looking.
see
Yeah,
what
that
happens.
sounds really interesting. Yeah, man. Yeah, keep us up to date on that. For sure. We do anything else?
No, that's
you're
it.
working on? Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to see what you got going on there. John Willis is asking sock puppet theater. I think that's like a reference to, they had those, like, there was these viral videos with like Voldemort. Maybe do a Star Wars version of it. Maybe.
No, remember the Lando Calrissian one?
There's a Lando Calrissian puppet one.
Straight player. It was just.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out.
I think Script sent me the link once upon a time.
Yeah, probably.
we do have some more folks joining us. Dave Marks, welcome to Bounding Live. Glad to have you here. To Helium29, good to see you, buddy. And John Willis, obviously good to see you as well. Thank you guys all for joining us. We appreciate it. As for me, like Drew said, I did check out Independence Day. I love the scene where Randy Quaid sacrificed himself to kill off all the alien, or kill off that one alien ship. What does he say? He says, like,
from my generation, up yours.
He says something else. He says that, but then he says, like,
hello, boys, I'm back.
Hello, boys, I'm back. Yeah, and the way he like delivers that line is just fantastic. And then I just love the scene where he's just like, he's the guy who has the last like missile too, and they're like, who's that guy? And it's like he says his name, and I just love the acting, and that was just great. He really nailed that character.
It's Russell something, right?
Yeah, Russell something. Great, just fantastic. I also watched Apocalypto by Mel Gibson. Absolutely amazing film. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest you do. It was on Amazon. That's where I streamed it. Really, really good. Great film. It's based on the Mayans right before Cortez lands in Mexico, or the Mexican territories. And I've also been watching season 3 of Dark. I think I'm on episode 5. We'll see. I'm not as like gung-ho on it. That's why I haven't finished it yet. The first 2 seasons were absolutely phenomenal. The 3rd season, I'm still kind of trying to. I think they need to do. They need to really, these last couple episodes really need to sell it for me on how the knot works, because I'm not totally convinced on the knot, and I think the addition of another world kind of threw a twist into their like really good time travel plot, and it's not as convincing as what the first 2 seasons were. So. But that's what I have been doing, and I got back into a little bit of my Fire Emblem 3 Houses, so I was playing a little bit of that. I'm about to wrap up Claude's storyline. Yeah, Dave Marks is saying Apocalypse of the movie starts hilarious, but then gets progressively more horrifying. Yeah, that is, it does. It shows, but I also think there's a lot of courage too. It shows a lot of the power of the human spirit as well. So there's a lot of hope at the end of the film, I think. And then Vera says, I really hope Dark's writer creates more stories. He's extremely talented. Yes, I agree. For sure. Like I said, I haven't finished the 3rd season, but I'm hoping that it wraps up really well. But I'm a little kind of skeptical right now with the way things are going. But
yeah, I was going to say, a talented writer in Hollywood, not named Script Doctor.
I don't think he's in Hollywood. He's German, so and it's a German production. I doubt they're actually in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's just a Netflix deal.
Yeah, because Script Doctor's a beast, man. He's the best.
All right, so let's get into the meat here. John,
I wanted to ask you real quick. You know, and Jorge will appreciate this since he's not here yet. So we got breaking news, and I saw this on Twitter today. Like, so apparently the new Halloween movie is being all of a sudden postponed until next year. And
I saw that.
And SD, I'm guessing it's because of COVID, correct?
I didn't read the tweet.
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's more to do with the theaters in relation to that, but yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Theaters can't have full capacity yet.
So. And that sucks because a lot of people were waiting on that, because honestly, the Halloween 2018, it wasn't bad. A lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people were into the end of it. And so everybody's been waiting for the resolution of this cliffhanger at the end of that movie, and now this gets postponed again. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that are rather ticked off about it. And I saw, you know, even on Twitter, there was people coming out and saying, "What the hell? You know, this sucks." I don't understand why they couldn't just release it to streaming.
Drew,
they don't want to do it to streaming. Besides, postponed is not canceled, so that's still a good. That's still a win.
New Mutants.
They make a ton of
New Mutants.
They also make a ton of money too in the theaters.
Horror films make way more money in theaters than they ever would on streaming.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand why that makes sense to me. I'm not surprised that these movies aren't getting postponed. I mean, we've seen Tenet's been moved back twice now already.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs. Kong just got moved.
Well, Don
Wonder Woman's been moved back.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even we don't even report on that stuff anymore. Because they're just going to change it again until the theaters actually are opening. Maybe we'll start reporting on that stuff, but it's just not worth reporting on because those dates are just fluid. I mean, there's nothing. It's just going to keep changing.
Yeah, it's hard to report dates anymore for stuff that's coming out because they change like almost on a weekly basis. It's like Jesus. You know, I just feel for the fans though, because like Don alluded to, even with like New Mutants, the stuff with all these delays, man, it really sucks because it takes the wind out of your sails. I mean, you're so like jacked to see like something like the New Mutants or, you know, the new Halloween, and you know that it's done, it's shot, it's in the can, it's ready to go, and it's just God, you know, when you get news like that, it just kills you as a fan.
Yeah, Mark's saying Tenet too.
Yeah, I mean, Tenet's going to get pushed back again, no doubt.
Nolan wants Tenet to be released for sure this year so he can qualify and sweep the Oscars. So.
It's going to be the only
film. The only movie, really.
So there are a bunch of we got 3 reviews up. Chris, one of the guys who does our reviews, got 3 reviews up. A couple sci-fi films and a horror film, very indie stuff from what I gather. But there are films coming out. They're mainly being released on video on demand. I think all 3 of those come out this Friday for the most part. One's called The Beach, one's called Archive, and then I don't remember what the other one is off the top of my head right now. But there are films coming out, but they are small indie, seemingly looks like they're small indie films that had already been released, I feel like, at like awards or at like stuff festivals, like festivals and stuff like that, like last year. Film festivals, but they're getting wider releases now. I think probably because the services are looking for content because people are tuning them off. I think a lot of people are just like, I've watched what I wanted to watch. You're not giving me anything new. Cancel. I'll find something better to do with my time. I've heard a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people saying that about Disney Plus. Netflix seemingly is still putting out new content. Obviously, we got Dark season 3. They just put out The Order season 2, which is another kind of, it's a YA dystopian show.
Trailer for Umbrella Academy season 2.
Umbrella Academy season 2 just trailer for that just dropped. So they're still coming out with a lot of stuff on Netflix because that's just kind of built into their model. Whereas Disney literally didn't have anything besides The Mandalorian that's kind of done. And I guess they had the Clone Wars, but nothing really like grabbing like we've talked about. Like there's a lot of stuff on there, but there's nothing new. All right, let's get into Batwoman here. The CW. Oh yeah. The CW has revealed their replacement for Ruby Rose as Batwoman. So here we go. Woo! Boy. Ring the bell, ring the bell. The CW recently revealed their Batwoman replacement for Ruby Rose, and I have no idea how to say her first name.
Javicia.
Javicia, okay. Do we know that's how to say it? Is that how?
I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Okay. Javicia.
Javicia Leslie. Variety reports that Leslie will play a character named Ryan Wilder. That was the rumored character from Entertainment Weekly back in June. Basically, the whole rumor that Entertainment Weekly had with the character breakdown was confirmed with this announcement of Jessica Leslie and Ryan Wilder. Variety described her as likable, messy, a little goofy, and untamed. She's also nothing like Kate Kane, previously played by Ruby Rose, the woman who wore the batsuit before. We gotta make sure we highlight that she's nothing like Kate Kane, except
if she's narcissistic and a Mary Sue, then she's everything like Kate Kane.
But she got meat on her bones, so that's.
We'll find out here if she really is. Wilder's backstory includes being a drug runner who made a habit out of avoiding the Gotham City Police Department. She also masked her pain, quote, with bad habits. Don't know what that means. To me, that means she was also maybe partaking in the drugs.
Or alcoholism.
Being a drug runner. Yeah, or alcoholism as well. So that's what that implies to me. While she previously was a drug runner, she now lives in a van with her plant.
Might be a marijuana plant.
Yeah, I think we speculated on this like back in June.
Yeah.
Because it is literally, well, you'll find out here, it's literally the same description.
Yeah, like what type of plant is it? Is it a ficus? Is it?
Yeah, it seems kind of weird. She just has like one plant. A girl who would steal milk for, I think that's supposed to be from an alley cat. Or no, a girl who would steal milk for an alley cat and could also kill you with her bare hands. Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter. Highly skilled and wildly undisciplined. What? Wildly undisciplined.
I think we talked about this last time.
Why?
Yeah.
It just doesn't help. It doesn't.
So
that doesn't make you dangerous. A dangerous fighter is someone who is highly skilled and extremely disciplined.
Yeah,
like
a dangerous fighter is going to... so not really skilled.
It's like noob woman. So basically, she just sucks. I don't know.
She's like a rip-off Catwoman, honestly.
Yeah, this
what it sounds like.
This screams to me like knee-jerk casting, bend the knee, all that checks all the boxes. You know, hey, look at us, cause diversity. You know, I mean, come on.
Bend the knee at the CW? They don't have knees to bend. They're already there.
They're already on the ground.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, good God, why don't you? Never mind. I'm just not gonna say it. Why not get a hot Asian chick? Why not get a hot, like?
Dude, we know that Asians. We don't exist on this totem pole. Asians don't exist on this totem pole.
Yeah.
You guys are sub characters in Birds of Prey films that.
I know.
Your characters are radically altered.
I'm marginalized. Damn it! I have a voice. Asian lives matter.
Lady
like
Shiva
over a billion of you,
exist,
so technically they don't. I mean, I'm just kidding.
You know what, Script Doctor?
I'm just messing with you, man. My stepfather's South Korean. So I can't.
Listen. You're my best friend. I wouldn't expect anybody
My
else.
sister's also Filipino, so like it's kind of. I have a weird mixed family.
Holly had a really good point in the chat. He said, so they picked a black woman as expected, and then made her a drug runner with a van and also a thief.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why? What the?
Pretty
hell?
horrible.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. See, the only thing I'm looking forward to is the lesbian scenes now.
Yeah. John, Toxic Man Flu. That's a great comment.
The Black Panther-esque comment.
Wow.
No.
That one or the one below it?
Oh, it hasn't populated yet because I have the screen shared, so I can't see the actual live chat.
Oh, that's great. Just wait.
Because there's like a delay. But yeah, we'll get to it when it populates here. But yeah, so like she's nothing like Kate Kane, but she's an out lesbian, athletic, raw, passionate, fallible, and very much not your stereotypical all-American hero.
Sounds like Kate Kane.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Without the money.
Toxic Man Flu told you to get back to building the railroad.
Oh my god.
Hey, at least you aren't digging trenches.
This is true.
Across the Northeast.
Yeah.
This is true.
Or the ditches.
Now he's
I guess
just making
the ditches is what
iPhone.
you're talking about.
Yeah, our stream's gonna get pulled here. That's right.
No, well.
Oh, it's totally demonetized. We're getting demonetized every week. It doesn't matter. We're getting demonetized. Like,
which is why everybody should grab their Bounding into Comics gear available now.
Exactly. We I love it though, because every week I want to stream with like some of my best friends, and we're right now. I think we're at peak 0 F's given because we're all just so restless over this dumb cancel culture BS and everything else.
There we go. There they go. The image wasn't loading. So this is her from one of the shows she's on. I don't remember which one it is.
I think it's God Friended Me.
Okay, yeah. So this is what she actually. I think this was in a press release. We didn't get it. Variety. All the trades had it though.
She on the left or the right?
She's on the left. That's a guy.
Okay, wait a minute.
I think this is her.
I mean,
who knows? I have no idea.
I mean, I don't mind her. She's fairly attractive, but it's like, man, she just don't like stand out. She don't have that it factor to her, and it's like, man,
What?
Oh,
she looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, dude. I got the desk raising right below me here, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of with everybody else on this one.
Look at that, Drew.
But,
come on.
I mean, she's
break that bell.
She looks better than Ruby Rose.
Yeah,
she's got legs.
Leslie commented on taking. Leslie commented. I totally I butchered that. Holy crap! Leslie commented on taking the role, stating that's what it should be. This should be removed. I'm extremely proud to be the first black. I was rushing when I wrote this. I'm extremely proud to be the first black actress to play that iconic role of Batwoman on television. And as a bisexual woman, I am honored to join this groundbreaking show, which has been such a trailblazer for the LGBTQ plus community.
Really? It's actually set that community back a number of steps.
I find this is interesting. She has to mention gender orientation and sexual orientation multiple times in her statement. Rather than actually talking about the role or talking about her character or something like that. But I mean, it's the CW. It's what we expect. So here, the rumor from Entertainment Weekly in June indicated that Kate Kane's replacement would be a woman named Ryan Wilder. Confirmed today. Literally, this was their description. With no one in her life to keep her on track, Ryan spent years as a drug runner, dodging the GCPD and masking her pain with bad habits. Today, reformed and sober, Ryan lives in a van with her plant, a girl who would steal milk from an alley cat and could also kill you with her bare hands. Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter, highly skilled and wildly. So they said wildly disciplined. So that's changed. She's wildly undisciplined now.
They haven't actually finished writing the character, so they have no idea who she is.
They're just throwing together every sub-Batman character. You've got Batwing, you've got Catwoman, you've got Holly, Catwoman's little sister, or adoptive sister. It's just
maybe her parents were killed at the circus by Scarecrow or something. So you got the Robin factor.
We find out. So there is
a rumor trying to steal a tire from the Batmobile.
Her mom is. If this 4chan rumor is true, her mom does get killed by Scarecrow.
So there's a little Batman Beyond thrown in there.
Yup, that's exactly what that is.
Separate rumor in June from 4chan indicates that Wilder will steal Batwoman's suit before being confronted by Luke Fox, who traces the Batsuit to a parking lot where Wilder is the only person there. In this conversation with Fox, it's revealed Wilder is seeking revenge against Jonathan Crane, a.k.a. Scarecrow. We all know who that is, for killing her mother. In fact, the alleged leak specifically indicates she wants to kill Crane for killing her mother.
See,
so
why can't
her whole story is she's the Punisher now.
Why can't they do some cool kind of crossover? I would have bought it a lot more. It would have been so cool if they would have introduced her where she was taking vengeance for her parents that were killed by evil Care Bears. I would have liked that. I would have liked that so much better.
Or why not have the teenager from high school who did all the hacking just take the mantle of Batwoman because they already introduced her?
I like the Toxic Man Flu's idea. Her parents were killed by Batman as collateral damage while fighting with Joker.
That would be a good idea.
That would be cool too.
I don't know. I just want to see evil Care Bears in a crossover.
No. I think
Killed
What do we
by
need a
Batman? You
crossover
guys think
for?
that's a good idea? What are y'all talking about? No.
Not killed by Batman,
It's a
but
horrible
collateral
idea.
damage. As if
Killed as a
what if the
result of
Joker
the
shoots
conflict.
a rocket launcher.
Yeah, the
at
Joker
Bat?
kills her. The Joker kills her parents.
no, too serious. Too
And she
serious.
dies as part of collateral damage in a Joker attack.
She's
Yeah,
trying to
Too
get
high
rid of
level.
but not Batman.
Either of those scenarios are too high level writing right now for current CW.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah, these like CW's like constantly in panic mode when they're trying to get their scripts done.
I mean, I read part of that, the pilot for what was that? What's the Kung Fu?
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, the
it's just,
reboot?
like, so
I stepped after 2
absolutely
pages.
Oh God.
trash. Yeah, I think I read to the part where it was obvious that there was like woman good, man bad, when like it's all women at this like what is it? Shaolin
Shaolin.
monastery.
Would be a Shaolin monastery, yeah.
Yeah, a Shaolin monastery, and they're attacked by evil men who are led by a woman. Interestingly,
So they're simps.
but yeah,
They're attacked by simps.
I think the only thing, the only thing actually interesting on the CW is the 100, and it's based off of a book. Whereas, like, I don't like. It's just really sad that they have such great source material for all of these TV shows, and they just turn them into absolute trash.
They had I feel like they could have had a really cool opportunity here to maybe spin this off into a more, I guess you can't use the name Birds of Prey anymore, but a Gotham City Sirens type thing. You could have brought back the Black Canary from the last season of Arrow, now that that's over. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the DC world here than trying to turn this into just a generic property.
God,
Yeah.
toxic man.
No imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no imagination.
There's no imagination.
They don't have any imagination.
But remember, come January, there's also going to be like some sort of companion comic book introducing this character into the DC comic book world, and Carol Andres,
sure.
the showrunner, is going to get creator credit on that.
All right.
So yeah, it's not going to be. She's going to get some more money out of that.
At this point, Script Doctor, can you and the actual like writers out there with talent that don't have like a lot of jobs yet go marching into Hollywood and take these jerks out?
Well, like to dinner?
No, just take over these jerks' jobs, because oh my God, there's just such a lack of writing,
dude. Or just make this show a softcore show. Just give it something
like a Baby Blue movie.
Yes. Yes.
Sadly,
also,
the people with the money don't want the type of stuff that we do. Because remember, shows like this on the CW, their budget is under $2 million an episode. You can't do a whole lot in an hour for $2 million, especially an action-oriented show.
Yeah, it's why Stargirl is going to be absolutely gutted.
Yeah, Stargirl's gonna be
for sure.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, Script and I were talking about
the
that.
villains make that show right now, because the kids they're not that great. Luke Wilson and the villains make the show worth watching. And once it goes to the CW, its budget's going to be cut down to basically $1.5 million an episode, which means we're not going to get a whole lot of cosmic staff stuff. The fighting's going to be very formulaic.
Like we were talking about on Twitter, Wilson's probably going to stop being on screen a lot. He'll probably be man in the room or voiceover, because they're going to not want to pay him.
Yep.
What did you say, Don? 2-minute penalty. Yeah. So I think, Stargirl. I still have only watched the first episode. I haven't got through anything else. I do watch a little bit of As Heel vs. Babyface reviews when he gets those up. I don't know if he's got his like the next two from the because I guess it was a 2-parter. I haven't checked today to see if he got that up yet. But it seems like the quality is kind of been going downhill though.
It's tricky because whenever the story focuses on the villains, it's a good show, but when they incorporate the kids, it's bad. The kids are facing some consequences, which is actually a good thing, but it's just unfocused, and it's kind of it's like a fire hose with the water on full blast, just flopping around. Every once in a while, it'll douse the flames, but really, it's hitting everything else in the neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah, I've got it. That's one thing I do want to watch, but I don't know. Now that it's going to the CW, it's like, why should I even waste my time? I just know like the story's going to go to crap, and it's like, okay, I don't need to watch that anymore. That's just kind of where I'm at there. All right. Any last comments about Batwoman?
I don't think anything could have saved this show. So this casting decision, good luck.
Yeah, remember, season 2 is going to be an exact beat-for-beat restart of season 1, pretty much. She's going to go through all the same things. However they write off Ruby Rose's character, Rachel Skarsten is still on for second season, so I don't know how they're going to reconcile those two at odds with each other.
Maybe they'll pull
with Ruby Rose, there's also no point for the Crows to be there, so I think that guy, the Daddy Crow character, is probably going to be out of a job.
Pretty much everybody's going to be out of a job. They're going to have to restructure and recast and redo pretty much the entire show. Yeah.
The only ones they can keep, I think, are Mary, Luke, and Alice. And I think the reason they're able to keep Mary and Luke together is because I think the show has them as an item. It's hard to tell. And like, I haven't finished all of my season 1 reviews in the editing process yet. I got like 3 episodes done Monday, or at least I think they're done Monday. I'll have to look over. But yeah, it's a weird show.
Where can people find those reviews, Script?
They'll find them on my channel probably in a month, because I'm getting them all done first before I start dropping them. I've only got Mondays to edit, so.
Yeah.
I do expect that we'll probably have a short spike in the ratings. I don't think it will be as big as the 1.8 million that the first season debuted with. But I expect that the ratings will quickly decline and be way lower than the end of the first season.
I think they'll be 1.5 just for the actor. Just for the actor alone.
Oh, you think so?
1.5 for that first episode, but a massive drop for the second, because that first episode is going to suck.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be 1.5. I don't know. I can see
the big drop. I don't know.
We'll see.
Like, it'll start 1.5, then it'll drop down to like 0.8, then 0.6, and then level off at like 0.4.
If they market it, if they put a bunch of money in the marketing in the beginning, I think it could do 1.5. If they just kind of continue with what they were doing here in January, where they like weren't promoting it at all, I don't see it going that far.
Yeah, because this is also an actress that can really fill out a bat suit. So that if they photograph it properly in the promos, that will probably get a bunch of male viewers in.
Yeah, potentially. John Willis asks,
we're not allowed to find things attractive anymore, so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I have a feeling that the suit will be covering up a lot.
Oh, it's about the silhouette, not really the goods.
I think the silhouette will be flattened too.
Probably.
John Willis asks, do you think that they will actually promote the show or slip it under the door?
I think they'll promote it. They'll promote with this big new casting.
They have to.
Well, I think they're doing also starting off with a crossover with the Superman and Lois show. So
really?
I think that's how they're going to try and get. That's why I think the ratings are going to be like 1.5 for that very first episode, and then just fall off the cliff.
If there's a crossover, that changes my prediction there.
Because the Flash saved Supergirl and allowed that show to go be on transfer from CBS to the CW, because that show was going to be canceled and they're going to scrap everything.
Okay, wait. She's bisexual?
That's what she says.
Just like Ruby Rose.
So that was the big community problem with Ruby Rose. So they're just
Okay. But she's a black woman, so she's got one more layer of shielding, I guess.
Yeah, right.
One more layer of oppression armor.
Yep.
She's got a +1 oppression.
Sounds like an item that you have to you pull out of the closet every once in a while.
Yeah, right.
They did. That's exactly what they use it for too. Pull it out of the closet like every couple weeks.
So I'm guessing that the Lois and Superman show will have its first episode first, and then lead into the crossover because the first unless they've changed the pilot doesn't.
No, I don't think they've changed the pilot. But yeah, I think they'll stagger out the premieres of the shows. So they'll probably do, if anything, they'll probably do week 1 will be Superman Lois, then week 2 will be the second episode of Superman Lois with Batwoman, and then they'd go from there, I guess. However they're gonna pull it off. I don't know. I don't know yet. If I get my hands on that season 2 script of Batwoman, oh man. I'm gonna rip that apart.
Eviscerate it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a way to do it.
Oh gosh. All right, let's get into Parrothead is sending me images on Twitter.
Yeah.
He goes nuts there.
I love Parrothead.
Last word on Batwoman. Does anyone are you going to watch the second season scripts? Because you are actually like reviewing it on your channel.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the first episode. I wonder if they'll keep the red wig for her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about. Will they keep the red wig or will they change it to an afro?
Well,
maybe they'll go full armor.
She's gonna have the afro for sure.
I don't know. I think they should keep the red wig for her because I mean that's a trademark. Like oppressed SJWs love red hair like that.
No.
No, the red hair will be gone.
I know it'll probably be gone. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they redesign the suit as well eventually. Halfway through the season.
Do you think they'll make her like clad in white to contrast and be opposite of her skin tone?
No, I don't think she's got to.
She'd be like the white bat that's in Ace Ventura 2 when nature calls.
Oh man.
Oh man.
They'll probably like I said on Twitter, they'll probably give her like a Batwing like armor because I definitely probably redesign it.
Yeah. Can they make her sidekick that old Dave Chappelle character, the black white supremacist?
Clayton
blind guy?
What's that?
Clayton
he was
Bigby.
blind.
Yeah, Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton.
That'd be great.
Well, what's she gonna say? Like that suit will be perfect when it fits a real woman, as opposed to like.
There's the bell.
So Dave Mark says, "Got to go, fun show, be excellent to each other." Thank you for joining us, Dave. We appreciate it. Christian Garcia, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we are entertaining you. He writes, "The CW doesn't care about their ratings, from what I heard. I think they have to. I think all these.
I was going to say,
eventually
what's the
care
point
about
of
their
operating,
ratings.
right?
Shows they do cancel shows. Usually they get canceled when they get to like the 400,000 mark per episode. But Script Doctors talked about this quite a bit. A lot of these shows are able to make money because they package them together and they license them overseas. And then obviously right now they have a Netflix deal where a lot of the shows are licensed to Netflix and you can watch them on Netflix. So they're making money that way as well, and people probably watch them on Netflix. I don't know how popular they're on Netflix. I know I was trying to catch up to some of them, but they're just not any good. Like The Flash sucked, and like I said, the only like CW show that like I don't even like even the 100 was going downhill, and it's obviously definitely like a YA show for sure. Like a YA dystopia, but that's just something that I kind of, it's like a guilty pleasure.
Just because it's young adult doesn't mean it can't be good.
Yeah, and I think it has good.
Trend lately.
Yeah, it has like a game. It's a young it's a YA Game of Thrones type thing, where characters are faced with like crazy predicaments. They have to make decisions, and the decisions are usually like, do I kill these people to save my people? Or my other decision is I don't kill these people and they kill my people. And it's like, what do I choose?
That sounds right up your alley.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of good conflict, and there's a lot of decisions like that, and the characters like really grow over time, and there are consequences for the decisions that they make, and people die quite a bit, quite often. Plus, they're on a like nuclear wasteland Earth, so even the environment is kind of against them at points. There's like a fog that rolls in that can like kill them, so they have to be prepared for that stuff too. So it's not just people they're dealing with.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, so like I think that's like the only thing on the CW that's like worth watching now. So I won't be watching season 2 of Batwoman. I have no interest in that.
No, I'm with you, John. I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not even gonna give it a chance. I just don't.
No, I
I
don't.
haven't even watched the first season. I saw the trailer and like how they were treating Batman, and I was like, I'm not into it. No thanks.
Yeah.
So I didn't even watch any of the first season.
Yeah,
And plus,
like the only way
says it's trash. So I don't
the
think
only way
missing anything.
Batwoman would be good is if Batman comes in and says, "Give me my suit back."
Yeah.
And get the hell out of my cave.
Yeah, like Batman coming in and he like, look, get the hell out of my city, lady. I mean, that would be.
Who are you? What's going on here? Who's in charge?
Yeah. It come with the old Arnold line. Remember when they used to have the old soundboards that you could get and mess with people? You know, the old "Who are you?" Batman needs to come in and say, "Who are you?"
Well, they have the actor already. They cast the guy who plays Batman.
Well, he'll probably be emasculated very quickly.
Yeah,
in season 2 for sure.
Yep.
So we do have a super chat. One show that I will be watching will be season 2 of The Witcher, and we got a super chat from Toxic Manflo. I'm not sure if he was referencing it, but that's kind of what popped into my head with the super chat. He said, "Toss coins, not cookies." And yes, I will toss coins to my Witcher in season 2 on Netflix. I will be tossing coins to Netflix, aka to The Witcher, to Henry Cavill, to Geralt of Rivia. I'll be doing that. Season 2. Can't wait. I think the second season is going to be more linear too, so you won't have a lot of the time jumping stuff. So I'm actually looking. I think that should be even more interesting.
That'll be good. Fun. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Star Wars rumors here. Don't you love these two characters, man? Oh, just look at him. He's just. I don't know. I think this person is a nobody. This is our nobody who steals someone else's name, and then
Raylo. Oh my god!
This guy is. I don't remember who he is.
Wasted potential.
There's no way in hell Harrison Ford's kid. That's basically what it is. He is no way in hell Harrison Ford's kid.
I think he got canceled for serving in the military or something like that.
Yep. Like he gets canceled like every 7 months for that.
Yeah. It's crazy. Every time he does a new interview and they ask him about his military service, they come out and try and cancel him.
Oh God!
Adam Driver's so ugly the bullets didn't want to hit him. That's why he survived his terms of service.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this is definitely.
No, they were heading straight for him. It was like, I think we got him already, so let's move on to the next guy.
This is definitely gonna make me change my avatar. Oh my God! I'm literally shaking right now.
Oh God.
Raylo.
So if you're shaking, I saw this video. Sorry, I saw this video. I think Ichibaka like commented on it, and that's why I saw it. And it was like they were having some kind of like grief ritual, and this guy, I think it was a guy, I couldn't tell. They were on the ground in front of like this sign that said grief ritual, and they were on like all fours, and they were just like shaking, like, and I was like, what is going on? That's just like what popped in my mind when you said that, and it was just like a horrible image of like, Drew like shaking, and I was like, please don't. So, sorry for that aside there, but it was just in my head, and I had to talk about it there.
Well, that's worth
So we got this new Star Wars rumor provides more details on how Lucasfilm removed the Disney sequel trilogy from canon. So this is kind of following up on a couple rumors from Doomcock, which we'll kind of briefly touch on here. So a new rumor has emerged that elaborates on how Lucasfilm will remove the Disney sequel trilogy that began with The Force Awakens. Previous rumor from YouTuber Doomcock, fan of Bounding into Comics, detailed that there was a plan inside Lucasfilm to use the Veil of the Force to sideline the Disney sequel trilogy. So this is an image from A World Between Worlds, episode 14, season 4, I think, of Star Wars Rebels. Basically, this was a painting that was on the side of the Jedi Temple in Lothal. This is a little Ezra Bridger here. He uses the Force, readjusts the painting like Assassin's Creed style, and then these Lothal dogs like jump off of the painting off to the side and like create a portal that leads to this place called A World Between Worlds. And he starts hearing the voices of the Jedi of the past, and then also like events in the future as well. Like he hears like Obi-Wan talking to Luke. He hears like Leia. I think he hears some Anakin as well, fighting with Obi-Wan, which I think that's in the past. And then so there's a lot of stuff here that he's able to like. It's basically this place where he can access time and space in Star Wars. Yeah, season 4, episode 13. I was right. I was wrong. Episode 13. I said episode 14. So in that.
Basically, it's the best plot device to retcon anything they want at any time.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. It's literally force healing. I hate it. It shouldn't be in Star Wars. But this is what they are going to try. This is the rumor that they're going to try and use to retcon out the sequel trilogy. So I guess in that point, I'm okay with it because the sequel trilogy is trash. But it's still this whole like thing is still like anathema to the Force.
John, you know,
the rules of the Force that have been laid out before us.
You know, John, I still laugh every time I think about that day when you and I were breaking down that trailer, and just like that when we get to that sequence of them doing the cavalry charge across the Star Destroyer.
Oh gosh.
I still laugh about that every single time because that was.
Dude, there was like a random horse like off on the side. Like what are you doing, bro? Like he was like not like that's not how a cavalry charge works. Like, it's just so stupid.
Oh god.
Yeah, that video was great. If you haven't watched, I don't even know when that was. But yeah, check that out on the YouTube channel. That was a good time.
Yes, it was.
I know we got some super chats. I just want to get through this real quick here. So Bridger enters this A World Between Worlds and discovers it's a place that allows him to access numerous points in time and space throughout Star Wars history. In fact, he uses it to rescue Ahsoka Tano from death at the hands of Darth Vader. So earlier in Rebels, I think it was the end of season 3. Actually, I think it was the final episode of season 3. Great fight. I forget. I think they're on Malachor. There's a really good Darth Maul story in there, and then Vader shows up, duels Ahsoka, and then the Jedi Temple is like collapsing. I think Maul I think that's when Kanan loses his vision. He might have already lost it already, but he has it's like a blind Kanan versus Maul. There's lots of really good lightsaber fights in here, and then you have Ahsoka and Vader. And then Vader leaves the temple, and Ahsoka is still there. And it's implied that she's dead. And then they go back, and we find out that Ezra just grabs her through and brings her into A World Between Worlds. So here's the official description from the Star Wars website on this. Inside, he found doorways between time and space and saved his friend Ahsoka Tano from death at the hands of Darth Vader. So Doomcock says it's this, A World Between Worlds, that would allow Lucasfilm to sideline the Disney sequel trilogy and treat it as an alternate timeline. As for how this could happen, Doomcock would elaborate in a separate video, which you can find here in this link. He indicated that J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker hinted at the Veil of the Force during the scene that introduces Darkrai. So in Doomcock's video, he has some couple of insiders. They call the World Between Worlds the Veil of the Force. in official canon, I've never heard the Veil of the Force term. It's always been a world between worlds. But that might be what they call it at Lucasfilm, or maybe it's something they're planning on calling it in the future. But so there's this scene with Dark Rey. You can see it here actually. Rey. So if you remember Rey, if you watched it, for those who didn't, you saved like 3 hours of your life.
And $14 your money.
Right.
Or more, yeah. So it's in this scene, Rey discovers a secret room that Doomcock describes as the Room of Mirrors on the second Death Star. Remember, she looks at the throne room, and then she goes off to the side, and like this door like magically opens for her. And then that is supposedly the Room of Mirrors. You can kind of see that there's these like mirrors here. It's this Room of Mirrors that allowed Doomcock says it's this Room of Mirrors that allowed Sidious to access the Veil of the Force. Which I'm not really sure if it's the same, if the Veil of the Force is the same as a world between worlds. The way Doomcock tells it, it sounds like they are, but I'm not completely sure, because in that A World Between Worlds episodes at the end, or not at the end, but during when Ezra's in there with Ahsoka and they're trying to figure out like what's going on, and Ezra wants to go and save Kanan from his death, and then Ahsoka's like, no, if you do that, you mess up coming here and saving me, and it could like radically alter everything else that happened after that. And then Sidious shows up and he like shoots like a flame whips it around Ezra's ankle and starts dragging Ezra to him. But as he's dragging Ezra to him, he's also able to like enter into A World Between Worlds, because apparently he wasn't able to enter it because the assumption is that he didn't enter through the portal. So maybe he's able, like, it's obvious that he's able to access it. He can see through it and maybe glean knowledge from it, but he can't actually like physically enter it yet. So maybe that's so that's kind of maybe
he has
what
like
he's
some sort of
hinting at
sick
here.
perversion of trying to get there, but it's not good enough. Maybe.
Wait,
yeah.
When did Palpatine get the flaming throng of the Balrog, though? I didn't know that was a Dark Force.
I mean, he's had it in the Clone Wars. He uses like alchemy quite often.
It's been seen before.
Yeah, it's not you don't see it in the films or anything, but it's definitely been in the cartoons. It's a dark side force. There's the episode where they really dive into like what the Force is, and Yoda is going to he goes to that Force planet when he's trying to discover the identity of Sidious. That's when Sidious like creates a vision of like Darth Bane, and he's like over this like pedestal, and like flames are coming up out of it, and he's like doing some like dark side alchemy or something like that. So we've seen that before, like not that we've seen the flames and stuff, but not that specific Balrog whip. But yeah, I'm fine with that. That's just another level of force. Like that makes sense to me. If you can force lightning, why couldn't you create like a flame whip? I don't know. I buy into that power. I can accept that one. Because it doesn't like break like major story arcs like force healing,
like healing
and time travel.
Or
which is what we're talking about now. But yeah, so that, like apparently Sidious has like 2 of these rooms. One is there on the Death Star, and then one is on Exegol. So right here, that's what he explained there. In order to remove the Disney sequel trilogy from existence, Doomcock asserts that Disney will have another character enter the Veil of the Force and ensure that Palpatine is unable to escape the destruction of the second Death Star through the Room of Mirrors, or he is prevented from returning to Exegol if he makes it into the Veil. Thus, like obviously he can't create Snoke. Snoke can't seduce Ben Skywalker or Ben Solo, whatever his name is. Does the names even matter anymore? You can just take a name, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then Rey gets raised by her parents.
Yeah, well, Rey wouldn't exist, right? Because
the Emperor wouldn't go on.
Sidious wouldn't have created a clone of himself that would then break away from him and have Rey with a woman, so she wouldn't exist, right?
Wait, the clone was created after Return of the Jedi, or not before?
It's unclear. So it's possible that this clone could have been before, but it is a clone. Rey's father is a clone of Palpatine, who doesn't have any Force abilities, which goes against the whole idea of the Force. Anyways, so who knows? Yeah, I'm about to get on a rant, and I'm trying to hold back.
Come on, do it, do it.
So there's so many problems.
There's
so many problems. There's so many problems with the frickin' sequel trilogies.
Yeah, but we want a John rant, so do it.
We'll hold off for now. So so we got another rumor. This one from Midnight's Edge. Our good friend Tom. Andre actually voiced. He did the narrative for this one. It wasn't Rob. It was Andre. Details that the George Lucas faction within Lucasfilm. So Doomcock has also elaborated that there's these two factions. The Lucas faction, which is like Favreau and Filoni, and then there's the Kennedy faction. For those who don't know. But the Lucas faction within Lucasfilm devised a number of ways in which the whole sequel trilogy could be removed from canon using established canon. And so Andre goes on to say, on their own accord, snuck Easter eggs into the movie, setting up the mechanisms to one day possibly undoing the entire trilogy. They did this by designing these Easter eggs into the sets and background, and they did it right under the noses of director J.J. Abrams and producer Kathleen Kennedy, neither of whom had any clue about it. So he says, of these mechanisms, the Veil of the Force is the preferred and most logical option, but there are others too. So he's alluding that these are the Veil of the Force is there with the Room of Mirrors and stuff are ways that they can get out of the sequel trilogy.
Why they do? Listen, I'm all for that. I hope they do, because the sequel trilogy poisoned the whole universe, in my opinion. It just it sucked, and I feel bad because just like so many other people, I fell for the bait when The Force Awakens got all and it was coming out, and like an idiot, I fell for the bait.
Well, the Last Jedi trailer was actually really good. The trailer was absolutely phenomenal. It's a fantastic trailer. But the actual
end result was
absolute garbage.
The worst thing ever.
Well, that's the other part too. If a trailer looks way too awesome, that probably means the best parts of the movie are in the trailer, in which case the movie's probably going to suck.
Yeah.
But if the trailer's kind of mundane, it probably means all the good stuff is still in the movie, so you might be surprised. It's never 100%, but just some thoughts to consider when you're looking at movie advertising.
I've seen that. I've seen that trend. Yeah.
So while Andre details that the George Lucas faction placed these Easter eggs, he notes, from what we can gather, there was and still is no sanctioned plan within Disney to all out remove the sequel trilogy from canon. Makes sense. Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge. I don't think there would be a sanctioned plan given the fact that she is, still the head of Lucasfilm.
And whoever replaces her will most likely still be in her camp, meaning that any sort of changes might not go through anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So, however, he says, what I also hear that while officially and formally all out striking the sequel trilogy from canon may be a long shot, the decision to effectively render it moot may already have been decided higher up in the food chain, which would mean Iger and Chapek most likely. And we know for a fact that Iger is heavily involved in Star Wars. He talks about that in his memoir, how he was the one who failed to let Lucas know that they were basically sidelining him and throwing his what are they called? Not the scripts, but the treatments into the vault of never opening.
Yep, the never opening Disney vault, right below the vault that they have all their movies that they sell.
Yeah, right there, along with Song of the South.
Free my man.
Allegedly, the higher-ups have examined the numbers and reportedly don't feel the sequel trilogy provided the necessary foundation to build anything more upon. Because of that, we are unlikely to be seeing any stories taking place in the aftermath of Rise of Skywalker anytime soon. Yeah, that makes sense. We've documented that significantly on Bounding into Comics. The parks are struggling. Obviously, they're shut down now because of COVID, but before, Galaxy's Edge was kind of like a ghost town. Wasn't a lot of attendance. Disney even admitted that in their quarterly reports. They were trying to say that it's because they raised their prices and that they didn't have enough stuff there, and just tried to deflect. And then we found out that it was like Kennedy's decision to basically like go with like the new Disney canon instead of what they already knew was like massively successful and would get people there and what people were actually hyped for by focusing on that. And then obviously toy sales significantly down. And then even looking at the film box office, you see Solo actually was a negative. They lost money on that. And then Rise of Skywalker, I would say, had a significant decrease in total revenue compared to Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So pretty much like all the signals were like negative for that type of content.
It was a downhill progression. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So Andre continues saying, what I'm hearing is that instead it has been pretty much decided that it is the time frame between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens that will be the focal point of the storytelling going forward. I don't think this is actually like this right here isn't like inside news. Bob Iger's made that abundantly clear in their quarterly report, Q1 report earlier this year. He talked about The Mandalorian and doing spin-offs of The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is taking place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and he talks about doing that's where their focus is right now, Mandalorian and spin-offs, possible spin-offs from The Mandalorian. So that's pretty much, that has come from Bob Iger. Like he said that. And he's still the top man at Disney. Don't like fool yourself thinking that he's not. He might not be CEO anymore, but he's like executive chairman now, and the CEO.
He gave himself a position higher than that. Yeah, higher than the CEO.
Yeah, Chapek reports to him, so he is like still top dog at Disney. So within this time frame, there will be an interconnected universe of live action and animated TV shows and possibly movies, although those are more likely to take place in other eras, but still prior to the time frame of The Force Awakens. So we've also had right here, this is why I added it right there. There's a rumor that Dave Filoni is to helm a multitude of new Star Wars Disney Plus shows. I think this also is kind of indicating that rumor, which could, I mean, as long as you don't have, I don't know. I think there's good stuff in Filoni's animated stuff, and I think The Mandalorian has shown that they understand the spirit of Star Wars, minus the Force healing, and with some better writing and maybe a little bit more time. I have high hopes for the second season that they can really hit it home, because there's a lot of potential in The Mandalorian. I just think it needed some fine tuning, and hopefully we'll get that in season 2.
And because a lot of the actors can wear masks while they're filming, they should not have to worry about the union stipulations for the lockdowns.
I mean, the main character literally wears a helmet.
Yep.
So yeah,
and they can just always write in for season 3 other characters that wear helmets too, and they can actually get some side-by-side scenes.
Or even just introduce a planet where they need some kind of breathing apparatus.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
To survive on the planet, yeah.
Well, there is a bounty hunter that can't breathe normal air that looks kind of like an owl that was introduced in Empire Strikes Back. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but...
Well, remember Leia in Return of the Jedi wore that helmet that had the breathing apparatus too.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's funny because it looks just like the Breen from Star Trek.
It came before the Breen by like 20 years. Almost.
No, damn it. It was don't screw that up for me, script doctor. It was the Breen.
Oh, the Breen was like mid-90s.
So Andre does get into how they are rendering the sequel trilogy moot. Well, my understanding is that it might as well have had leprosy, as they won't go near it. It may not be formally and officially removed from canon just yet, but it might as well have been, because while it retains its place in canon for now, it will reportedly be treated as if it never existed. And from the chronological perspective of where they are going, it still lies in the future. And if the Terminator franchise taught us anything, it is that the future is not set. So he really gets in here. So this is kind of where he gets on. This new direction is a hit with the audience. They might then continue down a path diverging more and more from The Force Awakens and introduce the Veil of the Force and the multiverse of Star Wars in animation. Then, if the stars align, move into the territory covered by the sequel trilogy, possibly still in animation, but do it differently. That way, the sequel trilogy as it stands would slowly and gradually have been relegated to another timeline in the Veil of the Force and thus have been removed from canon, leaving Disney free to move beyond that era.
But I want a new Star Wars show that stars Colin Kaepernick. I want him to be a Star Wars hero.
He's too white.
I I mean, if he's like an extra and he's like being, maybe not. What I was about to say, maybe I shouldn't say that. but he's a victim of the empire. He's an extra and he's like a victim of the
Serious
empire.
though. Hear me out. They're taking an example from the Terminator series. They haven't gotten it right since T2.
Yep.
No, he's just. So I think he's just referencing the Terminator. Andre's just referencing it. He's talking about that the idea of the Terminator, like in the Terminator universe, your actions can change the future. That's what he's referencing there. He's not talking about the shit Terminator, whatever, woke women force,
like all of them,
whatever it is.
Genesis and Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Fate, woke fate. Yeah, that's it.
What
I can't remember the name. It's already it's already gone from my mind.
What was the one with Christina Loken in it?
That's Terminator 3.
Let's see.
But no,
I remember
he's talking about the. He's talking about
this was
the
awful, and now we have everything past it, and Terminator 3 seems like a masterpiece.
You're right, Spencer. I 100% agree with you, actually, because it stays true to the tenets of the franchise.
Right?
Yeah. No, but the whole idea of the Terminator franchise is that you can change the future. Or there's this idea that you can change the future. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't make the future any better.
Everybody finished.
True. Totally true. But I think that's what he's talking about.
I was going to say everybody better snatch up the last of the Rose Tico figures before it gets retconned.
I think Ethan might have already grabbed all of them already.
I'm pretty sure he does.
He bought them wholesale.
He should set them up as guards for his pool filter so the frogs don't get inside.
Hey, look, we'll pick up John. We'll pick up all the Admiral Hodo. I mean,
they can join Captain Marvel, right?
You're talking about figures from like 2 movies ago. There was only like a handful of models for the Rise of Skywalker, like the Stormtrooper or like the Sith Troopers, Palpatine, and that was about it.
Well, they're not making.
Right?
They're basically not making any. The toy guy said there's no demand, so they're not making them.
Yeah,
no one wants that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's demand for
so
Mandalorian action figures, but.
Oh yeah, for sure. Baby Yoda is a huge hit. Where's that Baby Yoda, Don? Show us that knockoff.
I have no idea where it is.
Oh, what? He's spying on you.
I
then.
think Mark Lacerda just freaking told me to hang it up.
Oh, he's drinking that cup, staring at you,
somewhere
judging you. All right, let's get to these super chats. Toxic Man Flu for $10 says, "Wait, there were Star Wars movies after Episode 6." I saw something too. I think someone said that. Oh, I was reading on Disney Star Wars is Dumb. The editor-in-chief of Lucasfilm Publishing made a comment saying, like, if you notice, they don't have episode numbers for the Disney sequel trilogy. Makes you think. Yeah, there were no movies after Episode 6.
Huh.
Toxic Man Flu, you're 100% right.
But like, yeah, I mean, in their advertising posters, they don't put the episode numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Force Awakens they did have it, but then after that they abandoned it.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
It's just Star Wars, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, all with "thes" at the beginning of their titles, meaning that they didn't have a title.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jeffrey Turner, aka Megajetty1. Hey, Megajetty, glad to see you here. $2 super chat. I really hope The World Between Worlds undoes sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I like this idea that Andre posits this rumor that he's hearing, where it's not like it happens. They just kind of they just go this direction with the Mandalorian after Return of the Jedi and just keep kind of advancing the story that way, and then you just kind of forget the sequel trilogy exists. I kind of like that idea. But I do hate the idea of the world between worlds. I hate the time travel in Star Wars. It's anathema.
Yeah, time travel has no place in Star Wars.
All right.
Yeah.
So John Willis for $5. Looks like we got one directed towards Script Doctor. Script Doctor, seriously, how would you fix Star Wars or erase the movies? Your pick.
It might be controversial, but I would assure you that I would make it work. For starters, there would be no sequel trilogy, and I would remake the prequels to be more in line with what the original films established with regards to the Jedi and how the galaxy works. Make the Jedi not.
So you'd retcon the prequel films?
You throw them out?
Yeah, I would, because I don't think the
throw them
Jedi
out.
should have ever been institutionalized as an actual order.
Mhm.
I think it was antithetical to what the Jedi were, especially when you listen to what Obi-Wan and Yoda say.
Mhm.
And on top
What
of that,
about
too,
the line about the Clone Wars and Obi-Wan fought in the Clone Wars?
oh, I would totally keep that, because the Clone
Okay.
Wars should be something about that. That should be more about who you cannot trust, who you can trust, and who you can't, because that's what an idea of that's the advantage of a clone. Like, just making them clones that are disposable troops doesn't make that all that important. Like, I don't understand why they call that the Clone War. It's like
So Blade Runner.
Yeah, like maybe a little bit like Blade Runner, but I would do it more like the Empire is an Outer Rim faction that is using clones to replace people of importance and power so that they can have their own military coup over the Republic.
Secret Invasion.
A secret invasion or invasion of the Body Snatchers type of thing. And only the Jedi can identify who's a clone and who's not. And because of the paranoia from the people, they turn on the Jedi because they like the stuff that the clones are saying about what they want to do with their planets, with the Republic.
And maybe they think that the Jedi are actually secretly behind the clones because they're the only ones who can
the clones
identify them.
Nobody knows about the clones really, other than the Jedi. And then once it's revealed, it's too late. And you then have the takeover of power. You then have and also on top of that, you can use the concept of the Clone War to still disguise Darth Vader's real identity as Anakin. And I won't reveal how that's done because I'd rather save that for something else. But like, you can do it to the point where you can watch it in chronological order and still be surprised in Episode 5 that Vader is Luke's father.
Yeah, see that's kind of a good way to go about it, dude. I like that. It's pretty excellent.
Yeah, well, these are actually like story ideas I wrote in like '96 before the prequels came out. So I would definitely take my more developed mind for writing and give them a work over one day. But for the time being,
I will to stay within prequel trilogy canon. How would you remove the sequel trilogy? Without removing the prequel trilogy.
Jeez, how to remove it without removing the prequel trilogy? That's a good question. I mean, the Veilless Force is a good opportunity. The other part being is, you have to make the sequel trilogy a nightmarish Force vision.
Yeah.
Like other than that, like I could do it through the veil of the Force in a different way, and also have to add into things of how to make Palpatine, how to justify his return without taking away from Anakin and make him more threatening than what we had originally established. But I do have that kind of pointed out in a video I'm going to release probably in the fall about how I'd fix like each movie, like The Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and Force Awakens, based on like one subject at a time, because otherwise it'd be like 9-hour films, 9-hour videos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So much wrong with the movies, each of them.
Yeah.
Tehillium asks, how about they do something like Star Wars Unknown Regions? I'm not familiar with that. I'm assuming that's EU. I'm not super into the EU stuff unless I've had to like research it for a story. But so I'm not. Is anyone else familiar with that Unknown Region?
I don't know that one.
Toxic man. It's just great.
Yeah, he says script canon and Script Doctor is not making this movie for you. It's for Canadians.
But Canadians is a very diverse country, so everyone's gonna like what I have to say.
John Willis loves his script. He says, "Man, I'd love to see a comic written by Script to fix the franchise." Nice.
Oh, Lucasfilm will never give me access to their comic books or anything of that nature. Yeah. Even though I will be sending Jon Favreau an email and a pitch for some stuff in October. That's
nice.
Oh,
Oh, I see what Tillium's saying. He's talking about the unknown regions where Exegol is located. Okay, sorry. I thought that was a actual title of a novel or a comic that I was unfamiliar with, Tillium. Yeah, I think there's a rumor that they're actually about to explore the unknown regions in an animated sequel series for Star Wars Rebels that would be focused on Ezra Bridger and Thrawn. I think Scripps kind of talked about this before, where it seems like they kind of had this idea for the High Republic, but it's modern Star Wars writers don't know what they're talking about. But the idea that the Jedi are these Texas Ranger type people, and they would be going out into the unknown regions, and I like that idea that Scripps has posited on here on the show before.
I like that. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because then you can like basically destroy Star Trek if you want to, because you take away their exploration, and then you can also like have a lot of like moral dilemmas by visiting all of these different people that have all these different types of ways of living, how they work.
You mean like Star Trek?
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and you can even almost treat the Jedi like Christian evangelists too.
Yeah.
Where they're spreading the good word of the Jedi to these other people, and kind of like trying to convince them that the Jedi way is the best way, and trying to just act as kind of like these like prophets.
Praise
almost.
be to Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as well as like a Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
No, not really, because the Jedi they wouldn't be convincing them by the sword, right? They would be doing it by showing, like maybe solving a dispute or solving a problem that they have, and then maybe teaching them something. It wouldn't be Sith-like. You'd have them still be Jedi.
Yeah. So,
but maybe they even come into contact with the Sith though out there too. Obviously, they would come into contact with the Sith, who operate in a very different level, and maybe kind of you could touch on some of what happened with the Clone Wars in the animated series. They did touch on a lot of that stuff. The difference between the Sith, a separatist rule style of living, and the Jedi. You do get those kind of moral conflicts in the animated series. Just an idea. I kind of elaborate a little bit there.
No, that's
cool.
That's
not bad, man. Yeah, did you get that earlier super chat, John, from Toxic Man Flu back when you were talking about The Witcher briefly? He said toss coins.
Yeah, the coin one.
Yep, that was one of the early ones. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, that's why I referenced The Witcher. We got another one from Mega Jetty. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are being so generous tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. $5 from Mega Jetty. I'd like Star Wars to explore beyond the galaxy. There are smaller galaxies orbiting around the galaxy. The Rishi Mays pointed out in episode 2 is one. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was talking about. Unknown worlds, just exploring, taking us to different planets. I think that's something that Lucas definitely had a priority for. It's something that Star Wars is known for, introducing us to different planets, different people, different alien races, different types of cultures. We didn't get that a lot in the sequel trilogy. They did kind of a little bit in Force Awakens, but it was all like, what's the word?
Well, we got a desert planet.
They're all derivative. They're all derivative of the original trilogy. There was no imagination. There was nothing new, and I'd like to see something new like that.
And then you get a casino planet and a salt planet.
Yeah, it's nothing new. There was nothing new there. The salt planet was just a Hoth ripoff. And the casino planet was a ripoff of Bespin.
Bespin meets Jabba's palace.
Yeah, completely derivative. Nothing new or interesting, which is just crazy because like they could have just been.
Palace.
I mean, they could have just like mined Star Trek for like different people and different races. Like there's plenty of stuff there, but they just did derivative Star Wars stuff, which is no imagination.
None, no.
But yeah, I love that idea.
And then in the Rise of Skywalker, what they had another desert planet. They had a jungle planet, and then a lightning planet. I guess Exegol, which is the thunderstorm.
Yeah. it was like basically the palace, and that was it. We didn't, yeah. But the Jungle Planet was like I think he actually was on. Wasn't the first planet that Kylo Ren was on was actually the moon of Endor?
No, that was Mustafar.
Yeah, I think that was
Mustafar.
Mustafar. Because the forest moon of Endor.
He was going to Vader. He was going to Vader's fortress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the forest moon of Endor isn't actually Endor. It's just the forest moon. And Endor itself is a massive planet that I don't think we've ever seen in any of the Star Wars films.
Nope.
Correct. I don't even think we see it.
I don't think we've seen a period.
From the Emperor's room. You don't see it.
I wish they would. I kind of wish they would recap, like make a clone of Palpatine, but use like use
Sam Witwer. Bring Sam Witwer in.
They should use.
That'd be awesome.
They should use Dementia Joe Biden for that. It'd be great.
You'd never be able to wrangle him around to say the lines that's needed to be said.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Drew, you're a big Old Republic player. They're like the Hutt planet was like they had like lots of really cool, interesting planets.
Yeah, I mean,
Old Republic.
I mean,
MMO.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, and there's a lot of people that would love to see something like Nar Shaddaa. Nar Shaddaa is a huge
gangster planet run by the Hutts.
Yeah, it's a huge request on a lot of people's list of places they want to see, like in a Star Wars movie or game or series. There's also and we've touched on this before, John, when we talked about we did the article, I think it was late last year, about Korriban being put back into canon, as Korriban. A lot of people wanted to see Korriban. And there's a lot of people that also want to see Dantooine. We've seen Tatooine, but we haven't seen like Dantooine really. They want to see the old Jedi enclave from Dantooine that was actually in KOTOR.
I think that was in Rebels. I think they used Dantooine in Rebels.
And and there's
what's the planet that Maul's from? That planet's really cool too.
Oh, Dathomir.
Dathomir, yeah.
Yeah, Dathomir.
I mean, there's lots of cool planets.
And there's also one that goes along with there's also Onderon, which is in SWTOR and also in KOTOR 2. And Tehillim just mentioned Telos, and there's also
Taurus.
One of the moons of Onderon, which is Duxon, which has a couple of old Sith tombs on it. You have I believe it's oh God, I'm trying to think of the Sith Lord that's buried on there, and it's not coming to my mind at the moment. I'll think of it eventually, but there's a couple of Sith tombs on Duxon, and Duxon's really a really cool place. It has a jungle, it has a Mandalorian enclave on it. It's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of cool places, and I want to see these places incorporated into canon.
Yeah,
they're all awesome.
Tehillim saying like Marco Ragnos. Yeah.
No, it's not Marco Ragnos that's buried on Duxon. It's Ludo Kresh. Yeah. It's the tomb of Ludo Kresh that's on Duxon.
But yeah, there's so many cool things like that they can like explore those planets, like especially from like a singular Jedi perspective. I thought they actually do a pretty good job of that in the Clone Wars. Because you get the Twi'lek planet. You get the freaking Mon Calamari planet. There's so many cool places to visit, and then you just let your imagination run wild. Create new races who have their own planets. You could even create something that actually looks like Earth, because that's one thing that I find like kind of sci-fi is weird. They always make these planets like almost like homogenous peoples, instead of like Earth, where there's like multiple like nations and factions fighting each other still,
and variants of the same species.
Yeah. Instead of them all being united. So like you can even have stuff like that, and I think that would be like just really fun. You get the action that you expect from Star Wars. You could add in like the moral questions that Star Wars hints at with the Jedi. And I think they do show it. I think there is obviously a right. Star Wars does have the right and wrong with the light side and the dark side of the Force before they decided to go all like have balance and stuff like that.
There's also a lot of species that people know of that they haven't shown really that they haven't shown on camera to where they've actually explored anything about those species. Like we've seen species like the Corrin, we've seen species like the Ithorians, we've seen the Bothans, people like that, but
What's the wolf one?
We've never seen them fully explored. Oh God, I can't think about that one off the top of my head. I know that. Oh God,
there's the cat. There's the cat people too. They got cat people too.
Yeah,
that's what they're called.
Yeah,
not the Khajiit.
No, you're thinking Star Trek the animated series, John.
But
no, there's the three-breasted cat ladies in Star Trek also, but there's also cat people in Star Wars.
But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of alien races that a lot of people know. Like even the Nautilans that are part of the Jedi, that people haven't explored. The Nautilans.
That was in KOTOR, right?
The Nautilans. That was like Kit Fisto. He was in.
Green with the green dreadlocks. Pretty cool.
Yeah. He was in
the Cthulhu guy.
Yeah. He was in episode 2.
Yeah.
He had an awesome cartoon short in the Clone Wars cartoon thing where he fought underwater.
Yep. Yeah.
With a lightsaber.
Yeah. So Kit.
That was. I think they were on Mon Calamari, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. So there's a lot of origins that they could do just of species and stuff that would be awesome to add in here, and I'd like to see that. Hell, I'd like to see them like actually take remember that trailer footage they had of Lucas's series that was going to come out?
Oh yeah, the Underworld. Holy crap, that looks so good. That was from like a decade ago.
That would have been awesome, and that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. If you want to expand series, you can work off of that easily. You can update it to now, but you can refine it so you don't have to have an over-the-moon millions upon millions upon millions of dollar budget per episode. So, I don't know. I want to see some new things, and I hope they retcon the sequel trilogy because it's going to open up opportunities. So...
Right, we got another $2 super chat from Mega Jetty. Thank you again, Mega Jetty. Then eventually the Republic can discover Earth.
No.
I agree.
That would
leave Earth out of it. You can have an Earth-like civilization, but they don't need to be coming to Earth.
Yeah, I mean they already have.
Defeats the purpose of what is it? What does the opening crawl say? Galaxy far, far away, a long time ago, or whatever, right?
Oh, and then they can meet the ancient Avengers, and then
then God, no, shut it. No, don't you do that. Don't you cross that over. No.
Obviously, they're going to meet Sora in the Kingdom Hearts Disney Plus.
No!
Oh my God.
God, man. Make me blow gaskets.
Yeah, so Tahilium is saying apparently the Mandalorians are also their own different species before they culturally appropriated humans.
Yeah, I remember years ago before when the EU was still new, the Mandalorians didn't even exist anymore by the time Boba Fett found the armor. He was like the only one that had it in the galaxy, and they were considered a dead species. And
they totally retconned that in.
They changed that in the early to mid 90s.
So they could sell merch.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, I was not supposed to put that on the screen. Sorry, I just don't know why that clicked there. Toxic shampoo. But yeah, there's I think Kennedy said something about, or it might have been Iger. He was just like, I don't have any problems with the with Star Wars content. There's like so many creative opportunities, and he's right, except that they lack people with imagination that are working for them. Let me pull up this Ichibaka story because let me pull it up real quick because he does talk about this. We've had Ichibaka on the show. We like Ichibaka. He has a wonderful website called Disney Star Wars is Dumb. Everything Star Wars. He covers it. He's been covering a lot of interpersonal allegations among Star Wars folks. But here it is, J.W. Rinsler.
Oh, yeah. I saw his interview the other day.
Yeah, he did an interview. He's been doing multiple interviews. It looks like he did one with Sci-Fi for Me. And then he did one on...
Not My Star Wars.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Not My Star Wars. So he is... he had a blog called The Rise and Fall of Star Wars blog, but I guess he deleted it. But there's a PDF that you can find of all the posts. And I guess on Twitter... May 1st, I guess a blog called, or YouTube channel, I don't know looks like they're a podcast maybe. Former Lucasfilm executive, so he's the executive editor at Lucasfilm, J.W. Rinsler, joins us to talk about working with George Lucas, whatever happened to the making of The Force Awakens, and much more. And he's just kind of taking a shot at it, whatever did happen to it. Whatever happened to making The Force Awakens. But let me see here. Oh, so here he goes. In the podcast Force Material, I guess they talk about the Bob Iger's book, his memoir, I guess. I think is what it was called. Yeah, something like that. He said the only thing I read was some excerpt where he said he could have handled basically pushing George out of the creative process a little bit better, which I think is true. And then the interview asked him a question. That's the part in the book I was going to ask you about. He talks in the book about, he boils it down to there was a meeting where it became clear that George's ideas for the sequels were not, that wasn't the outline they were going to follow. And he says he regrets not giving George more of a heads up about that before the meeting. That's Iger. Do you recall the meeting that he's talking about? Do you remember what the atmosphere was like when he realized, oh, we're not doing my sequel trilogy? And I guess there's a long pause. And then Rinsler responds saying, I do, but I have to be very careful what I say because, as you know, I started a blog where I was going to talk about that. But, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what meeting he's talking about. But, yeah, I'm fully aware of what the atmosphere was like. So he had a live stream on his own YouTube channel. Itchy says he didn't say much in the video, but he did leave a few comments. And one of them is, how did the Lucasfilm company culture change when Disney took over? In my opinion, for the most part, in licensing, it wasn't pretty. And then he says, someone asked, how long did the NDA last? And he's like, lawyers have said the more time that elapses, the less the NDA can be enforced, but it's not a fixed time. That's interesting.
Sounds right.
And then Itchy actually asks him how much time has to elapse before it's safe for a publisher to pick up the rise and fall of Star Wars. Are talking months, years, decades? And he says that's a question for a lawyer with experience in these sort of things. I'd guesstimate 5 to 10 years. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's about right for an NDA, especially the long, ongoing franchise.
And then he also seems to indicate that there's issues with Kennedy. Obvious. If anyone who has watched any of the Star Wars films or any of the Star Wars content being churned out since Disney took over, I think that it's pretty obvious there's an issue at the top. So he's just, how was working with Kennedy? Interesting. ... So here, this is what I was talking about earlier. This person says, I hope to God that Kathleen Kennedy 789 trilogy doesn't exist. George brings you back and you guys work on the real 789 trilogy. And then he says, I'm sure everyone has noted that the sequels don't have the Roman numerals. I doubt there's ever going back or that I'd be involved. So that was interesting that he says the sequels don't have the Roman numerals. Like, so on one hand, he's like, those movies might not count because they don't have the Roman numerals. And then the other hand, he says like he doesn't think he's going to be going back, or if he does, he wouldn't be involved in that. I wonder if that's like, do you think that's something that was in maybe George initially selling that they couldn't use the Roman numerals, or?
Well, they used the Roman numerals in the actual film, like before the crawl. The Roman numerals are there.
Right. Okay. I thought they were
too. The Roman numerals weren't really advertised as part of the original trilogy, even on the re-releases. No. Like the VHS boxes that I have here, they don't have episodes 4, 5, or 6 on them. It's just Star Wars or A New Hope, Empire and Return of the Jedi, the Roman numerals didn't really become part of the actual title process until the prequels. Like they weren't on the poster until the prequels, really.
Yeah,
and
well,
then
wasn't the original Star Wars film just called Star Wars?
This is the first.
Wasn't it just called Star Wars? It wasn't even. It didn't have like a New Hope wasn't added to it. It wasn't even Episode 4. It was just Star Wars.
Yeah, New Hope wasn't added until a at-home release that was released a few months before the Empire Strikes Back debut.
Right.
If memory serves, or maybe it was afterwards. I wasn't alive then, so I don't know. But yeah, like the actual whole concept of the Episode 1 being in importance was only for the prequels, because that's for people to understand that this is the start of the story overall. And it wasn't until I think some of the 6 film box sets where they actually started putting the episode title numbers on the on each individual disc.
So he does say he's open for podcasters, live streamers, whatever it is, who'd like to talk. I'm open to it. And then he says to email him via his website. But this was what I was kind of getting to here. He talks about this Sci-Fi for Me TV interview he does. And Itchy says around the 23-minute mark, he discusses his feelings about the changes at Lucasfilm under Disney. He says the following after being told about the rumors of an internal conflict between Kennedy and Favreau Filoni camps within Lucasfilm. He says, I keep in touch with a couple of people. A lot of people left, such as myself. I really did not. I think that's fairly obvious that I did not enjoy the transition. I was optimistic at first, and then personally, I did not like what was happening. I didn't like what was happening to the licensing department and the publishing department or the films. So for those who aren't following what's going on with the publishing department, they've hired a bunch of woke people who seemingly don't give a shit about Star Wars and are more interested in putting their woke narratives into Star Wars. There's this Daniel Jose something who I forget his last name, but he's basically said that like he's promised that there's going to be like more non-gender binary or something like non-binary gender characters in Star Wars, and like that's like his. Like that's what he's like selling Star Wars on. You have a publisher, Del Rey Arts, Star Wars publisher, promising that their upcoming anthology series is being described as like gays in space. You have on their High Republic video, like there's like what is it? Diversity is on there, and there's something else.
Diversity's on there, I think, twice.
Yeah, and then there's something else that's on there that are like their key things. So that's So those are like kind of their key things that's been happening with publishing. So just kind of context there. And he says, and I really tried hard to make it work for myself because it was a job too. I didn't want to starve, to put it in an extreme way, but I just couldn't take it. I don't think there were camps at that time, but maybe now there are that I couldn't really speak to. But a lot of people left. One friend of mine, she left. She saw the writing on the wall right away, and she got out very early and suffered less brain damage. Less brain damage. So working at Lucasfilm causes brain damage, apparently.
It was a very unorganized company and still is to this day, so that can be frustrating when you work for a company that's not well organized.
Which is surprising given the fact that Disney has owned them now for what, almost
8 years. Almost 8 years,
yeah.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah, but Disney's in trouble right now because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, but Disney's only in trouble because of what's going on. Like, what happened to the past, 7 years? Like, they weren't, bringing someone in who could,
They're making a lot of money with Marvel. Yeah, they're making a lot of money with Marvel. That's what happened in the last. But but yeah,
you bring someone in to fix your ship. Come on, that's.
Yeah, Lucasfilm's success is really a happy accident because I mean, aside from the actual concept of Star Wars and stuff, but its actual company itself is a happy accident because it was very disjointed. People kind of bounced from departments. There wasn't a whole organization or structure going on. Everybody was just kind of through their love and passion for working for the company at that time, they just pulled their act together to get whatever objective they needed done so that they could get the stuff out. But it was really like flying by the seat of your pants type of structure, very much like an independent studio when it's just starting out. But unfortunately, Lucasfilm was like that for its entirety until Disney got it purchased to do with this type of model, because it's not really a model. And well, we see what happens. It just got worse instead of getting better.
Yeah, so it sounds like they just maybe bought the brand and were like didn't really take a look at what else they were buying.
Yeah, because Lucas
thought they might be able to do something with Kennedy, and obviously that didn't work.
Yeah, they assumed that there was actually an infrastructure to Lucasfilm, but there really wasn't. It was just like George Lucas has the final word on pretty much everything, which is why I guess there's also some continuity issues between the EU, between comics and their novels and video games and whatnot. Like I remember when Nar Shaddaa was actually just a really elaborate space station before George Lucas says, no, it's going to be a planet now. And that's just kind of like the nature that it was. I've heard stories where Lucas will say an idea in one department, and that department has to run across Lucasfilm offices to the actual department and tell them that George Lucas said this, and maybe you guys should start working on that, and or else it hits the fan, as it were. So yeah, like when you get absorbed into a larger company and that smaller company doesn't have an infrastructure like Marvel Studios did, or like Touchstone Pictures did, or anything of that nature, yeah, Disney doesn't know how to build those types of things in a system that way. You're kind of retraining all the existing employees how to do things your way, and they've spent maybe a decade doing things more like, oh, we've got this happening in a couple months, so how are we going to do this? Like, okay, we'll figure it out as we get there type of attitude. It just doesn't reconcile much with a corporate mandate.
Right. What do you have something to say there, Don?
No, I'm just glad that everything's happening right now to expose what's happening at Disney, because it's kind of a mess over there with their Lucasfilm franchise.
Well, Disney's the studio that's driving a lot of the narrative, like a lot of the whole concept of identity politics and the wokeness and all that type of stuff. That's spearheaded primarily by Disney, and other studios are just kind of like aping it with some of their films just to sort of stay within the talking points in the media. But I think once Disney sort of, sadly enough, not really collapsed, but returns to the state they were in the late 90s and early 2000s with regards to their influence, it'll be better for Hollywood overall, because then there'll be actual competition among the studios, and it'll be more about trying to make the best movies they can, as opposed to one powerhouse kind of dictating how all other movies are gonna appear, just based on a very basic and greedy competitive note.
Yeah, from me looking on the outside, that's definitely how I see it. I see that Disney kind of seems to be the ones pushing everyone else around. But what's interesting is that when everyone else tries to really dive into the wokeness, like Terminator, Woke Fate, Ghostbusters 2016, Men in Black, International, the new Charlie's Angels, those films absolutely just get obliterated at the box office. No one wants to actually watch that. Whereas like in the actual like Disney films, they don't actually do that. They don't have a lot of that woke content actually in the MCU films. Even Captain Marvel didn't have a lot of it, or as much as what the trailers and interviews and everything leading up to it. Yeah, right. Which is interesting.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're trying to do to ruin their competitors. Potentially.
Could be, because again, Disney's still prominent, but I think Warner Brothers, now that it's owned by AT&T, it's technically bigger than Disney.
Yeah.
But like Disney just has a louder voice and has the more lucrative franchises.
Disney has the brands right now. It it basically has Marvel right now. Because I don't know. I mean, obviously their live action remakes have been financially successful, but I don't know how long those are going to last. I think Robin Hood might be the end of it. We'll see. Because I think they just announced the Robin Hood one.
But we've had live action Robin Hood.
Yeah, but we
They
haven't
make a
had a
Robin
live
Hood
action
years.
Disney Robin Hood, which I guess is going to have like a guy dressed up in a fox suit, right? I think we talked about this, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I also think there's, as Script's saying, there's the Disney does have a lot of sway in Hollywood, but I think that AT&T might be looking to be swinging something else their way and showing them that theirs might be a little bit bigger. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they're definitely making moves with the Snyder cuts. And then I don't count out Netflix too, because I think Netflix is still going to be very strong, and I think they're also pushing a lot of the woke stuff as well. They have like whole shows on it.
Well, Glow is like
just-
the most recent
just
one I
about
can think of.
Oh, Glow, yes. I
Well,
remember.
so we'll talk about this later, but actually, let's just jump into this one now, actually, and we'll kind of go their way. But so Halle Berry, let me pull it up. I actually didn't have this one pulled up yet. But so Halle Berry, John Wick actress, James Bond actress. What was she in? Where did she win her Oscar for? Monster something?
Monsters Ball.
Monsters Balls.
Monsters Ball. There it is. But so Halle Berry, just like Scarlett Johansson before her, has been forced to drop out of a unnamed movie that she was really interested in actually taking, it sounded like. So that's Halle Berry, one of her recent Instagram posts. Ripped that from there.
Yeah.
So Oscar-winning actress Halle Berry announced she would be dropping out of consideration for a role as a transgender man in an unannounced film. Berry's decision came after she received severe backlash from numerous LGBT groups and individuals. The John Wick actress had previously
How
announced
did she get backlash if this
Instagram
wasn't
interview.
announced or anything yet? I don't understand.
Someone who is working on that movie.
Straight black women can't play transgender characters.
Yeah,
that's
I think
it.
someone working on that
Okay,
movie
so-
was part of that community and let it slip.
No, she talks about it here.
Yeah. She actually
So the John Wick actress had previously announced in an Instagram interview with hairstylist Kristen Brown that she was thinking of taking on the role of a woman who had transitioned into a man. So this is Friday. She talks about it here on Friday. It's about 37 minutes into the interview, which this only has like 4,000 views. So people didn't even watch the interview. But I think there's something. Okay, there we go.
Where?
So just after the 36-minute mark, Brown shows off Barry's haircut from her character Jacinta Jinx Johnson from the James Bond film Die Another Day, and asks her if she would ever think about having her hair that's short again. This is how. Yep, there you go. Ring the bell there. Yep.
Yeah.
No, there we go.
There we
Or
go.
what are you doing with the? What are you?
That's all the money right there.
No, you're supposed to like hold it like a stack and then just like flick it off one bill at a time.
Script Doctor is
This is the
much more
first time
experienced
Don's
at
ever
this
had
than
that.
you, Don.
Yeah. Make it rain.
Yeah, you make it rain, man.
50%. Oh, I just saw the shakes. It reminded me of Drew again. Please no.
I'm literally shaking.
So Barry responded like, okay, I was talking to Jorge about this earlier. So if you actually watch this interview, it like cuts out all the time. How do these like millionaire Hollywood celebrities not have like decent freaking internet connection when they're doing these interviews?
If they're in
'Cause they're
Beverly
never
Hills, they have
home.
terrible internet because there's no real service over there other than I think.
Yeah, that Beverly Hills has a really crappy provider.
yeah.
All of LA
How
has,
do-
like, two shitty providers.
I don't understand. How is that possible? We have like freaking cables on the bottom of the ocean into India, and like the richest freaking Hollywood celebrities have like the worst freaking trash internet connection I've ever seen.
I
'Cause
think
they don't need to use it. Their assistants and their managers and everybody need to use it, but not them personally.
yeah, they have like
they don't go
Spectrum
on their
over there, which
phones.
is pretty bad.
Henry
Mark
Cavill
Lacerda
is the only one who has like a optic connection.
Mark Lacerda has joined us. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Glad to see you. We're always good to see you in the chat. I just find that just so crazy that these have like trash internet connections, and they're multimillionaires. You'd think that they would have gotten they would have made an actual change there.
Yeah, because I'm in Canada and I have fiber plus a fiber cable hybrid mix for my internet, and it's relatively affordable.
You lucky son of a bitch.
And that's coast to coast network too, in Canada that we have. So like, what the heck, U.S.
But there's
I'm
like
literally
5 people in Canada, so you're not exactly hogging bandwidth.
I'm in a 1950s home right now, and my internet is better than Halle Berry's. Home built in the 1950s. So Barry responded, "Yeah, I'm thinking of a character where the woman is a trans character, so the hair is going to have to be." She cuts out. She's a woman that transitioned into a man. She added, "She's a character in a project I love that I might be doing." And then later she says, "That's the character I'm going to play. I want to experience that world, understand that world. I want to." She cuts out a little bit. "I want to deep dive into that, like I did Bruce. This world and who this woman was is so interesting to me, and that will probably be my next acting project. And that would require," I think she says, like cutting her hair off or something like that, my hair off. She then stated, "That's what I want to experience, and that's what I want to understand, and that's what I want to study, and that's what I want to explore. It's really important to me to tell stories, and that's a woman, that's a female story. It changes to a man, but I want to cut out the why, the how of that. I want to get into it." And so the person who's interviewing her, this Kristen Brown hairstylist, I don't know anything about her, but in that section of the interview, she seems to imply that she's part of the LGBT community, and she's like praising Halle Berry for this role and like super excited for her. But that praise would soon turn into a campaign against Berry. So following these comments, a number of LGBTQ activists, I'm not Brown. I don't think Brown campaigned against her, because I think Brown worked with her on a number of films. It seems like she is part of the industry. Following these comments, a number of LGBTQ activists would decry Berry taking on this role and demand that she remove herself from the unnamed project. Some of those leading the charge were Pink News and Jezebel, who published articles decrying the possibility of the Oscar winner taking on the role. So Pink News is like, "Halle Berry says she's preparing to play a transgender man in a new film, and we are so very, very tired." In the article, they actually write, "Casting cis actors as transgender characters does not usually end well." Yeah, it usually ends in the movie not being made.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't end at all.
Except for Hilary Swank, right? So.
Yeah. Jezebel's headline outright calls for Berry to be prevented from playing the character. "Please do not let Halle Berry play a trans man," indicating that Halle Berry, like basically trying to restrict her own agency for the role. Just found that kind of interesting. It wasn't just publications. Individuals also went after Berry. Danielle Saltzman claimed the actress was guilty of misgendering. So she shared the Pink News article, and then here she says, "The worst part of this is where Halle Berry refers to trans men as women. Just wrong. Outright misgendering right there. Trans men are men. Trans women are women." And then trans activist Serena I don't know how to say their last name. They have bylines at The Guardian, CNN, NBC News, Teen Vogue, declared... What do you think it is, Spencer?
Daniari?
Daniari? I don't know. Daniari?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. Declared that
Daniari.
Cis actors need to stop this. So she wrote, she added, "It absolutely is not a female story. It is a story about a man. And why is the aspect of physical transition the focal point for her? Cis people's understanding of trans issues is really myopic. Girl, watch Disclosure on Netflix." So that's kind of what I was getting at. This is like a show that they're promoting on Netflix now. And this is why the Netflix is kind of leading the way in this type of stuff. They also have that show. What is it called? White People Need to Listen or something like that.
Dear White People.
Oh yeah. Dear White People. So yeah, they just got tons of stuff like that on there. One person tweeted to Berry, writing, "Please do not contribute to queer erasure. Please do not play a role that can be filled by a talented transgendered actor. Please do the right thing."
Wait, where are these talented transgender? Never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know if we'll get an answer to that question. After this backlash, Barry took to Twitter to indicate she was leaving the project. Sure, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to discuss my consideration of an upcoming role as a transgender man, and I'd like to apologize for those remarks. She's literally apologizing for her excitement about an acting role.
She said nothing wrong.
Absurd. So absurd.
So insane.
Yeah, she didn't say anything wrong. As a cisgender woman, I now understand. Yeah, she's using their language here now too. I now understand that I should not have considered this role, and that the transgender community should undeniably have the opportunity to tell their own stories. So I think we know where that. What were we talking about? The oppression armor. So you get the upgraded. So transgenders have the upgraded platinum oppression armor.
Yeah,
it's
they have
like
the platinum plan.
They
trump,
basically get the
black
cup.
female
That's what they
actors.
have. You've got the chest armor, and then you got the cup.
No, no. You got to do it in an RPG setting. They have the orange epic.
The orange
armor.
epic, craftable, customizable.
Yeah.
Gosh.
We've been asking for a nerf for the last several
more-
patches, but they just keep getting buffed.
Say that again, Spencer. I didn't catch all of that.
Oh, I said we've been asking for a nerf for the last several patches, but all they've been getting are buffs.
Oh yeah, yeah. They are basically they're OP. They have the one-shot kill button, and it works every single time. It worked on Halle Berry. So she concluded and worked on Scarlett Johansson before her. I vowed to be an ally in using my voice to promote better representation on screen, both in front of and behind the camera. She said, I'm grateful for the guys' critical conversation over the past few days. And I will continue to listen, educate, and learn from this mistake. You didn't make a mistake, Hallie. It's okay. I see we have Lorena Creole in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Lorena. Always a pleasure to see you. I definitely enjoy when you're on Toxic Femininity.
Yeah,
so
they
let's continue here.
They were just live. They were doing the Babe Menace. So much props to Lorena.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Following her announcement, GLAAD, a major lobbying organization, I got
GLAAD,
praised Barry. Yeah.
Wait.
The people who who are constantly attacking Marvel and DC for their lack of representation in superhero films.
Oh, I thought.
And who they're also the people who turn on you as soon as you step out of line, as J.K. Rowling noticed, which we'll get to that in a little bit.
I thought those were the guys that make the food storage.
I thought they made trash bags, honestly. They're like scented trash bags, right? That's what I thought they were. No? Okay. I'm glad you laughed, Don.
I'm sorry. I'm actually kind of falling asleep here. I'm going to have to head out, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, we appreciate you joining us.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks so much for having me, guys, and have a great night. I'll see if I can still listen to you while I'm passing out over here.
Yeah,
but, I'm not going to fall asleep on stream. That's Drew's shtick. That's his.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But that's usually when we pass like the 1 a.m. mark over on Comics Division's channel. So that's more reasonable. It's not like it's not me like this guy at 11 o'clock is just like I'm about to smack my head off the desk here.
Yeah. Hey, so
what you're saying? Don't pass gas either. When you do fall asleep, don't pass gas either.
Hey, that's profitable gas. I think that got you $5, right?
That was $5 worth, Todd. Don't even start.
That was literally internet gas. We actually discovered what internet gas is, and now we understand why it turns into a superpower.
And it earned money. You can't beat that. But
we appreciate you coming on and joining us, Script Doctor, and I'm actually really looking forward to that that Star Wars video you were talking about, or the multiple Star Wars videos you're talking about, we will definitely run those on the website when you get those published. So
yeah, I'm hoping.
Let us know.
Yeah, I'm back to full-time hours, so I and my girlfriend is back to full-time hours as well. So I've actually got a day where I can edit this and still maintain my secret as a script doctor. So yeah, that's my Mondays of my editing, and I'm just going to be building a bigger archive because I have a whole bunch of scripts that are already written and recorded. So I just got to put pictures to it and get that out there for everyone to enjoy. So thank you again for inviting me on. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys about these crazy news articles coming out of Hollywood and whatnot. And have a great night. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Bounding into Comics and Dollify's channel and my brother's Drew Taylor, Supreme Heretic. And take care, everybody. Thanks again.
Yeah, and don't forget tomorrow, Script Doctor, remind them we got a really big episode of Pegasus Actual Podcast.
Which I'm also hoping I'll be able to stay awake for as well.
Exactly. But we have the continuation from last week's Pegasus episode. So make sure you hop over to my channel tomorrow and catch me and Script over there because at 9 p.m. we'll be kicking that off. That'll be pretty awesome because we left off on a great cliffhanger last week.
And that's Battlestar Galactica. What episode are you guys on? You're on season 2, right?
Yeah, we're on season 2, and this is the second part of the Pegasus episode. It's technically a 3-parter, so this is like the middle part. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
All right, yeah, be sure. And that's what time?
9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So make sure you hop over to my channel and catch that. It's going to be a great.
All right. So have a great rest of your show, guys, tonight, and I'll catch you all later.
All right, man. See you next week.
Oh man, Toxic Man Flu and Mark, man, they got to just mess with me. I see you guys in the chat.
Oh yeah, they're totally messing with you. So Glad wrote, "We are pleased that Halle Berry listened to the concerns of transgender people and learned from them. Other powerful people should do the same. A good place to start is Good place to start is by watching Disclosure Doc to learn about trans representation in media. See, they're promoting this Netflix film or something. So then Jorge talks about Scarlett losing Rub and Tug, which literally has gone nowhere, and I haven't heard of it since. So talking about representation in media, talking about representation in media, you literally got rid of it. So good job.
I don't think this movie's ever going to happen because this is the problem. Because every time you try to satisfy this mob, they are never, ever, ever happy. They will always have some kind of grievance, whether it be, an actual grievance or something imagined in their heads. But it's just you can never pacify these people at all. And
sounds like an ex-wife.
Yeah, and it's even if they got a trans actor, they'd find some kind of problem with the trans actor. They'd say, "Oh, this."
Perfect example is Ruby Rose. When they cast Ruby Rose as Batwoman, she wasn't Jewish enough.
I thought she was bi.
Bi. She wasn't gay enough, apparently.
Or the right gay.
They didn't like that she was bi, and they didn't like that she was
both. I
that she
remember
wasn't
the Jewish
Jewish.
point too.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't like that she wasn't Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, it's so stupid. And I think this is just mental gymnastics on their part because, my goodness, you had it the first time with it was ScarJo that was in this before Halle Berry, right?
So Halle Berry is a totally different film, or at least it seems that way. She doesn't say what the film was. We don't know what it is. The Scarlett Johansson was a film called Rub and Tug that she was actually going to produce. After she got lambasted for it, she dropped out of the project, and it has gone absolutely nowhere. So I don't even know if she's producing it anymore, because I think the whole purpose of her wanting to produce the film was that she was going to star in it as well, and that's kind of just went out the window.
Yeah, Toxic Man flew final Death Star as J.J. Abrams.
What's that reference? What did he ask?
The script, he said, so what if script actor was actually J.J. Abrams? And I said, final Death Star was J.J. Abrams. His final Death Star looks almost just like J.J. Abrams. It's funny. We always
like a younger version. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Who's final Death Star? Is that like a person?
Yeah. Me and Don know him. He's
okay.
He's in the fourth wave with Steven.
Fandom Menace.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, final Death Star. Like, is there another one that I didn't know about? Like hidden Death Star somewhere. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the first script for Rise of Skywalker.
But yeah, what was crazy about the Scarlett Johansson one is it wasn't actually even a transgender character. They were just kind of, I will say this, they were culturally appropriating this historical figure and claiming they were transgender. The actual person didn't call themselves transgender. They were a woman that just dressed like a man and were a gangster. And they were just implying the best person was transgender. But they still like got her to drop out because of just what Hollywood is right now. And then Halle Berry. I mean, you kind of lose respect for people like this, for Halle Berry. Like, as much as like I've loved her roles, like it's like, you're a coward. You literally just said you loved, this was like a film that you were interested in making. This was like something you really wanted to do, and then literally 2 days later you're saying like, I made a mistake and I'm not going to do this film anymore that I was like really wanting to do. I you can't respect yourself. How can I respect you? What is it that Doomcock says? I thought it was funny. I tweeted this out in response to Scott Snyder, and people actually thought I forgot what he said. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, no, I was being rhetorical. But what is it? What is it that Doomcock says? Without respect, we reject. And it's like, yeah, it applies here too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just out of hand. And I was talking with one of my buddies today before we started the stream, and we were discussing how the way sports has changed in about the last like 30 days. With football has caved to the mob, and we were discussing the fact that over here in Cleveland, it's funny because preemptively the baseball team, the Cleveland Indians, has decided to preemptively cancel themselves, and they decided to put their name under review simply because
the Redskins did that too.
Yeah,
here in DC, the Redskins are like, we're taking a review of the name of our team name. And it's you're canceling the name. Is what you're saying.
Because they're caving to the mob, and there's almost certainly we know as fans almost certainly there's going to be a name change, and at that point it would be different if they were changing the name for a natural reason and saying, okay, we just came to the conclusion it's time to change the name, we wanted to do something else. I would be on board with that.
I'm still salty that they changed the Bullets name.
Yeah,
they should never. The Wizards, trash.
Yeah.
We'll never win an NBA championship. The Bullets can.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
But
the Bullets won the NBA championship.
But the thing is if you change something like the Indians has stood now for almost 100 years, you're going to go ahead and change it now, and change it under the directly just capitulating to the mob. There's no other reason to change it. And they don't realize that fans, especially like me, and I've rooted for the team, since the early 80s. I'm done. I'm not going to support them after they change the name. Forget it. It may as well. I'm going to treat it as there's no baseball team at all in my city. I'm just going to treat it that way.
just go overseas and watch international sports. Quit being a freaking whiner and watch real sports. You want to see some kick-ass hockey? Watch the Russian leagues. They still beat the crap out of each other. You want to see
man, that's cultural appropriation. That's cultural appropriation.
I don't care. Screw them. You want to see some amazing baseball with anime chicks? Watch Japanese and Korean baseball. That is amazing.
I love Korean
Holy
leagues.
crap!
We need G4 back, man.
Dude,
They
they
have
have
G4 back.
fun.
They have all those like crazy Japanese like game shows and stuff. Man, people are like riding on like unicycles, jumping from block to block.
Well,
It's
here's
like
the
insane.
skating, baseball, all these sports.
So Toxic Man Flu.
That the players
So
are actually having a good time.
I know we're getting into sports here a little bit, which.
Okay, let's get back to G.
I think
That's
about
our second channel, bounding into sports.
Bounding it,
but we don't usually talk sports. But obviously, I have a freaking like Washington Capitals championship hat on my head. But yeah, so Toxic Man Flu says Blackhawks are keeping everything announced yesterday. Yeah. The Blackhawks are actually not even named after the Native Americans. They're named after a army. I think it's an army division called the Blackhawks. And then the actual owner decided to adopt the Native American logo because it was he viewed it as symbolizing like honor, courage, and something else.
That's the 86th Infantry Division. That's after
which he served in. I think the guy
served
in it. But the Atlanta Braves also are keeping their tomahawk. But it seems like the Redskins and the Cleveland is just they already got rid of
we already got rid of our logo. They switched from Chief Wahoo to the Block C, and they just have this generic Block C now, and that was bad enough. But now that they're doing this, there's a lot of fans that are just checked out. They're done at this point. You know?
Oh yeah, I stopped watching NASCAR. I thought NASCAR had actually had a really good product on, and I'm not watching it. I am going to go watch my local track, but I'm not. I'm not watching any of the races anymore at all.
Well, John, I am open minded and I'm bored since I have no sports left. I'm going to have to have you give me some pointers on being a hockey fan. I might have to adopt hockey.
That's not hard, man.
There's also what's his name? Tyson Fury, man. Get into boxing. Start watching Tyson Fury. That dude is a boss, and he's really good. All right, so we're gonna do this super chat that we just got from Mega Jetty. Thank you, Mega Jetty, for $2. My stepdad, Redskin fan. If changed, go with Sentinels. No, don't change it at all. Just burn the team down if you're going to change it because that's what you're doing.
Are we still talking about Halle Berry here?
Yeah, I would just award the team to a different city.
Can we say that she was like the best Bond girl and
give it back to San Diego?
Oh, you missed that.
I don't care. I was late. CenturyLink took forever. I get to say she was one of the best Bond girls ever. Fight me on that,
dude. Password Swordfish.
Oh, and they removed Pierce Brosnan too soon, guys. I'll fight you guys down that too.
I love
Pierce Brosnan was
okay. You guys are good in my book. Then we can totally have a beer together.
That's the Bond I grew up on, so he's my Bond.
Remington Steele, baby.
All right, so this is the next one. Kind of a good transition from Halle Berry. So this children's author, Gillian Phillip, was fired by her publisher after tweeting support for J.K. Rowling. I don't even think she really tweeted support. She changed her profile to hashtag her name to hashtag I support J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, but she also retweeted a bunch of her stuff too. So that was what kind of fed to the fire in that situation.
So yeah, this is another Jorge story. Jorge's killing it this week.
Yes, he is.
So, children's author Gillian Phillip, who along with a number of other novelists, wrote under the pen name Aaron Hunter, has been fired from her publisher Working Partners after supporting Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling. Phillip, who wrote under the name Aaron Hunter on the fantasy series Warrior Cats, Survivors, and Bravelands. I think they're all part of the same Warrior Cats universe, but there's different series within them. came under fire from a Twitter mob after she changed her Twitter profile to include "I stand." It's her name. "I stand with J.K. Rowling," which you can see it right there, and that's Jillian right there. That's an interesting looking sweater.
Nice shirt.
I don't know what is that.
It
Is
looks
that a compass?
like tribal
like a
pirate.
With a compass on the back.
Tribal samurai.
Dude, John, you need to change your browsing history back to what it was before.
Yes.
Oh well, I'm sure we'll get some more stuff like that.
We need more culture, John.
Basically, you want my wife to be using using the computer a little bit more often when she's searching for clothes. Rowling herself has come under fire for defending biological sex in a number of tweets, as well as on her blog. She was heavily targeted after she supported fired researcher Maya Forstater. I'm not sure how to say her name. Back in December. So you can see here, this is her tweet: "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real. I stand with Maya. This is not a drill." That's a great little rhyme there. Since then, the attacks on Rowling have increased as she has been much more public in her defense of Forstater as well as biological sex. Back in June, Glad, who have don't we the trash bags?
The trash
that
bag
smell
people.
nice.
They're everywhere.
Trash bag people who have previously supported Rowling.
It's a lot nicer than name.
Who previously supported attempted to there should be her here. Attempted to cancel her. That's my fault. The edit after she posted to Twitter: "If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. No, it is not. It's not hate to speak the truth." After Phillip changed her Twitter profile to show her support from Rowling, the Daily Mail reports she received, quote, "sexualized abuse and death threats from the trans lobby." I didn't see any. Did you see any death threats? I didn't really see any I guess this one kind of is here. So she had this one pinned to her her page. I'm not going to read it. You can see what kind of crazy stuff this person sent to her. She makes fun of them. What I like about the people is that their articulate skills of persuasion clearly show them to be on the right side of history. The subject line is literally the same as the message, I think, or it's very similar. Yeah, that's a really long subject line. Holy crap. They did say who their person's name was. Smith Johnson's obviously a fake name. Others typed expletives and accused her of being a transphobe. F Jillian Phillip and F transphobes. F Jillian Phillip, literal scum. Oh, that looks really good. I could go for one of those right now.
Gosh.
DiGiorno Stromboli.
That's just a DiGiorno Hot Pocket.
That's what it looks like. I think it looks in the ad. It looks like that. Stromboli is usually a little bit bigger. I would think. But plus it's DiGiorno. I don't know if they make Hot Pockets, but that looks really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me open up a DM from Parrot Head.
Oh gosh.
Parrot Head.
This person called her a clown. Just called her all kinds of nasty names, and then tells her to shut the F up, and then unprivate your account. I don't think did she private her account? I don't think. When I was looking at it, it was not private.
At one point.
Did you see it when it was private, Jorge?
No, it was private. I did not see it.
Okay, yeah. And then this is the best part. She's like, bring it. It's still locked down. I'm bored. So she's like, it's kind of weird that this person would say that her account's private when she's literally challenging them to fight. Oh, that's Drew. He must be falling asleep with the muscle relaxer there. That's what put him to sleep last time. Who is that then? What is that noise? I thought that was your muscle relaxer. I thought that's what you guys were telling me it was last week. No, what is that? Are y'all just playing games over here?
It ain't mine.
What is that noise? What is it?
That was a joke.
What did you say? I didn't catch it.
We called it a Hitachi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that ain't me.
I thought that was you. Is that Don then?
Sorry, I saw something from Parrot Head.
Oh, is that what that noise
back.
was? You're looking
Yeah.
at things from Parrot Head? So this would seemingly inflame those attacking her, and they began to target her publisher. They began targeting her publisher, working partners. This person was like, fire her, denounce her. No, I do not want a plant-based awesome burger. No, thank you.
Oh God!
I will take the girl. I'll take the cowboy then.
Oh
take the
God,
cowgirl.
man. That thing. I mean, that is just like that's SJW food right there.
The soy burger.
I mean, seriously.
What's worse is that it's like they use it like they're using like a cowgirl or a cowboy, which is like the opposite of an SJW to promote their SJW food.
Yeah. Have a soy burger, partner.
The Sweet Earth Awesome Burger. No. I appreciate
I see
the
what you're clicking on, John. I
appreciate the ad revenue though. Apparently, it thinks that I'm hungry.
Mark
getting all these food.
Mark 63366. What the hell is John buying? Is he secretly a soy boy?
I mean,
John,
I don't know if that the DiGiorno Stromboli is definitely not soy based. That looked like it had a healthy amount of protein in it.
Sure.
Yeah,
So.
Jorge's correct. We're going to have to check out that browser history.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been voted by.
It's probably because I'm having to do research on all of these whack jobs on Twitter here.
Blame it on the research. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Blame it on science.
What did she say? It's what did JK say? It's not hate if it's the truth.
Wow.
Super relevant reference there, right? Those are the kind of jokes you will get with Star Trek Lower Decks, self-referential, right?
Yeah. Are we pretty sure now that J.K. Rowling is like completely red pilled at this point?
No, I don't think so. I think that
No.
I think she's just fighting on this one issue.
No, it just he crossed the fighting back. That's
bird.
See, my chat's behind because I can't watch the screen that I look at my chat. I have the article up on, so I can't see it. So I'm behind on there.
All right, so Toxic Man Blue says the Google search for "When will my balls drop" has definitely changed the ad algorithm.
10 minute game misconduct for Toxic Man Flu, and Drew, you get a 2 minute warning for fight instigator, or 2 minute penalty for fight instigator.
Hey, I'm just relaying the message, guys.
I don't know. You sound like you're trying to instigate a fight here between me and my boy Toxic Man Flu.
No, I'm not instigating nothing, man. It's great. I just point out interesting antiquities in the chat.
I think we're onto your game there, Drew. We're onto your game.
I instigate nothing. I am a complete angel. You guys have known me how long now? I am 100% got a halo. You know that.
I want to know what that halo's made out of, but that's different.
Yeah.
Well, it's Cleveland, so busted lights. That's for sure.
Ooh. Dash of special meth.
Oh, ouch.
Sorry, you're not in Appalachia, so you don't get the nice white stuff, buddy.
I think Spencer wrote about that nice white stuff today when he was covering his Johnny Depp article. Definitely check that out.
Lord.
If you haven't already.
Yeah, didn't are we actually gonna touch on that, by the way, John? Because I think
We'll see. We're what we got half an hour left. We'll see. Let's get through this one here, and maybe we'll touch on that next. Because there's some juicy stuff in there. There's quite a bit fun stuff.
Okay.
it
Juicy stuff.
it definitely favors him though.
Oh well, yeah, but the thing that I saw a lot of the mainstream were going at was his consumption of Spider-Man's girl. They didn't like that he was interested in the girl who's I'm the jackpot baby. They didn't like that.
Totally.
The saucy redhead. They didn't like his interactions with the saucy redhead and his daughter. So Noble fired this guy named James Noble, managing editor of Working Partners. From what I gathered, it was in an email sent to a bunch of people that subscribe to their email list, I guess, that the Daily Mail got a hold of. But the Daily Mail reported that this guy Noble says the world's created by Aaron Hunter, who is a pseudonym for a bunch of different authors, including Philip, are meant to be inclusive for all readers. And we want to let you know that Gillian Phillip will no longer be writing any Aaron Hunter novels. So she got canceled for literally saying, I support J.K. Rowling, one of the most successful novelists of our time. Whether or not you enjoy Harry Potter, you cannot argue that she is massively successful. She literally has theme park rides built based on her books. She's launched a separate film universe as well. She has had all of her books adapted to film. And for supporting that person, you get fired by James Noble and Working Partners. So we'll see what happens. So there was some pushback after she got fired. A teacher says that she won't be buying any more of their books. And then this guy calls them, basically says that they're supporting the F word. And they're pathetic. So I do find it interesting. There is some pushback on this front. And it's coming from a pretty predominant big player who was one of their most lauded. The trash bag people did laud them at one point, and now the trash bag people are trying to get them canceled. And we're seeing what happens when there is kind of this tidal wave. What is the word I'm looking for? A waterfall effect, I guess. Big name comes out, pushes back, and you're starting to see other people push back as well. So we'll see what happens with this. OC Steve, thank you for joining us. Good to see you, OC Steve. OC Steve says JK will laugh all the way to the bank when the third Fantastic Beasts movie comes out and a spin-off about the American Wizarding Schools. Yes, and so will Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp will be laughing his way to the bank as well. Yes, the only person I wish wasn't involved was Mr. Chokes-a-Lot, Ezra Miller.
Don't make fun of Ezra.
Yeah,
he's got the best takedown, of ever in MMA.
Yeah,
he's got the best. Legs.
We'll see how good his takedown work is when he goes face to face
in prison
with Eddie Redmayne and his menagerie of fantastical beasts. I'm not gonna lie, I did watch the second. Yeah, I did watch the second Fantastic Beasts movie on HBO.
How was it?
It had imagination. The beasts are actually really cool. The CGI was really well done. They're imaginative. They're interesting. They're different. They're not something that you see. There's this one creature that's kind of based off of the Chinese dragon that you see in the Chinese New Year's parade. But it's got like 4 legs and flies and stuff, and it's actually really cool. But yeah, it had some like cool ideas in it. It was obviously a middle movie. Like the end doesn't really give you any closure at all. I did thought I thought it has like an interesting twist. I enjoyed it for the most part. It was like a good popcorn film. But yeah, I kind of liked it. Yeah, OC Steve says hater now, but the shills will change their tune once the next Fantastic Beasts film comes out. I'm not sure. I think these people were coming after Fantastic Beasts. They've been coming after it for a while. We've documented this for quite a bit. They didn't like that
I was gonna say, I don't think
Nagini
they
was
liked
actually.
films.
Yeah, they came after her for supporting Johnny Depp. Obviously, when Heard wrote that
Well, they
op-ed
went
in the
after
Washington
for
Post.
the presumption of innocence and actually working with somebody, right? What kills me is
Well,
they're willing.
I don't even. I mean, she had more knowledge about that situation than what we did.
Well, yeah.
Because she was in communication with Depp. Depp obviously was giving her information about, like, he was obviously
just wish
preparing for
they
these
had this
lawsuits that
much,
he's involved in now.
Well, my point is, I just wish they had this much outrage when an actual sexual predator was in the movie Predator. Right? Don't you see the irony in there that no one said a damn thing?
Oh yeah,
Instead, they went after the star
the new one,
for going
the
after
Shane
it.
Black
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
She
with
ended up getting,
Olivia Munn.
crapped on.
Was it Olivia Munn who
Yeah.
called that out? Yeah.
She found out she
Yeah,
had like
an
a love
actual
scene with a
convicted
real life sexual predator.
Yeah. Yeah, who had a conviction, had been convicted.
But you know, they're quite about that, right?
To that movie because it was awful.
Well, the movie itself is a crime, but you know, adding that guy in was a war crime.
That was also a crime.
Yeah, he just doubled up on the crime. But I just find it funny that, you know, they want to go after this guy who's still, you know, going through the judicial process and has not been found guilty, and they want to move heaven and earth to try to get him canceled. And this other guy was in a movie, actually is convicted, a real life sexual predator, and no one says a peep. I think a lot of it has to do with that they relate to them, literally. So, you know, they have to protect their own, but that's just my opinion.
Oof.
Yeah, Deviant Pork says first Fantastic Beasts was very good. The second was a low mid. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm like, when I say it was like a good popcorn flick, like it's a popcorn flick still. It's not like some like super amazing film.
Well, I mean, a popcorn flick is what it is when you're just trying to have a good time and enjoy a movie, and that's exactly what it was. It was.
Yeah, it could have been
something I'm gonna
wildly better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and cry like it's 12 Angry Men or something like that. It's just a really good movie to watch and just enjoy, and just for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You could also describe it as a time killer, if you. I mean, it was enjoyable. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great, but it was enjoyable.
But I mean, compared to a lot of what comes out nowadays, it was up there. It wasn't, you know, and that's a low bar.
Yeah. But I do want to get back to what OC Steve said. They were coming after her for Nagini too. They didn't like that Rowling turned Nagini into an actual Asian woman. And then she has this curse. I think it's a curse where she has to she turns into the snake. And they had issues with that. And they were going after her for that.
Wait. They went after. Okay, I'm sorry, I got confused there. They went after her for being turned into a snake.
No, they went after J.K. Rowling for changing Nagini, for giving an origin story for Nagini, where Nagini is an actual woman who is in a relationship with Dumbledore's brother. Sorry, I spoiled the film, but yeah. And then she has like some kind of like wasting disease where it turns her into a snake.
Oh, okay.
Then
it's so weird. 2020 is so weird. I actually thought someone got mad because they didn't allow a snake to play the role. So.
Toxic Man Flu says, serious question. Did anyone watch the Will Ferrell movie Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga on Netflix? No, I did not. I did not watch that. Did anyone else watch that?
No,
I don't plan on watching it.
Unpopular opinion: Will Ferrell only had one good movie, which was Step Brothers. Sorry, I can't stand him in anything else.
Offensive to Ricky Bobby and Anchorman.
Anchorman. Anchorman is only funny because of Steve Carell. He just completely misses the mark on everything except for Step Brothers. So, hate me now.
What about the flute scene in Anchorman?
No, that was not funny. I went to sleep watching Anchorman. That's the only reason I have the movie, so I can go to sleep.
Are you falling asleep here? Wake up.
No. Well, put on some Will Ferrell. I'll fall asleep real fast, won't I?
One of my favorite SNL sketches is Will Ferrell. He's there with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Michelle Gellar is like his daughter, this like unruly like daughter who wants to just go out on the town, and they're having like a family dinner, and he just starts like shouting like, "I drive a Dodge Stratus," and he's like, "Respect me." Like,
Toxic Man Flu's absolutely
funny.
right. That's the thing about Will Ferrell. It's the people around him who make him funny, right?
Yeah, Other Guys is with Wahlberg, right? That's
Yeah.
the buddy cop one.
Wahlberg
Yeah,
made,
I like that one.
Wahlberg made that
Yeah.
movie funny, not Will Ferrell.
He plays well off of other actors.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
And that's his weakness. He has to be able to be. He needs to be paired with strong people that they can feed off each other. If not, it's really one noted.
Wahlberg's strong.
Wahlberg is strong. No
Yeah,
one messing with Marky Mark.
Yeah, I think Wahlberg. I mean, he carries Italian Job. I think he actually does a better job than Charlize Theron in that film.
Transformers.
He's a lot better actor than people give him credit for, and he's got
Transformers.
really good range when it comes to humor.
Transformers.
Like some of
Dude,
my
he was
favorite
so
SNL
jacked in the
sketches
Italian
involve-
Job. He was so jacked in Italian Job, man. Dude was just like absolute like a monster in Italian Job. Have you seen The Warrior with Christian Bale? He's awesome. I think it's The Warrior. The Fighter is The Fighter.
Fighter.
He's the boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Fighter. That's absolutely amazing film. Super good film.
Movie.
Great acting job by both Wahlberg and Bale. Great movie. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. Four Brothers, another good Wahlberg film.
Four Brothers is good.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
movie. I
No
love
one
that
screws with
movie.
Nana.
Yeah, I mean Wahlberg's in a lot of good movies.
He makes good movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a really good. He's really fun to watch. A lot of people give him crap. What was that movie with the stepdad with him and Will Ferrell?
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? He's like the cool stepdad, old dad, and Will Ferrell's the new dad.
Daddy's
stepdad.
Home.
Yeah, Daddy's Home. Well, I thought both
I
movies
haven't
were
seen
great.
that one.
I love the second one with Mel Gibson. That was ridiculous.
I thought you just said the only Will Ferrell film you liked was
Step Brothers.
what was it? Step Brothers.
Yeah, because the Daddy's
You
Home
said you
is
liked
a
Daddy's
Mark
Home.
Wahlberg film, not a Will Ferrell film. Will Ferrell is like an ornament.
Okay.
You just kind of put him away, and that's it. And he doesn't become funny in the second movie until John Lithgow comes in. See how my logic works there?
Yeah. OC Steve calls Wahlberg the AKA Boston cop drama man. Yeah, I loved his role in The Departed. Where he, especially at the end where he blows them away, kills off what's his name, Damon. I think it's Damon that he shoots, right? Yeah. He puts the little booties on and just blows them away. Yeah, lots of good Mark Wahlberg roles. He's got a great story too, because he was literally a American Dream story, down and out, and he was able to
the burger franchise
yeah with his brother, right?
with Donnie.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor too.
All right.
How did we get to the Wahlbergs?
So I don't know. We other guys I think
Yeah.
we talked about. And, yeah, Toxic Man Flu says he was miscast in Transformers. I completely agree.
That was
with
great.
Right.
What you said about Ben Affleck. That was great.
Any movie where Ben Affleck dies is a good film.
yeah.
He doesn't die in Gone Girl, and I think that is a fantastic film.
Well, it could have
Girl's
been
really good.
better if he did.
I mean, he his soul pretty much dies. So
Yeah.
Well, true.
at the end, his soul is just destroyed because he has to like fake a marriage with this person he knows is a murderer.
The true love story.
Rosamund Pike was absolutely fantastic. I that's why. Oh man, I'm so disappointed with what I read, what we reported on the Wheel of Time, because like she was absolutely fantastic in that. She's playing Moraine, and they're just basically going to destroy the characters like freaking first episode.
Don't worry, the Lord of the Rings TV show is going to come out soon, and that's going to be another disaster.
We'll see. We'll see with that one.
Orcs are going to be misunderstood by a group of minority people, and they're not really evil, even though orcs are not human. Thus, the whole paradigm of race shouldn't even freaking attach to them. But whatever. right? Makes total sense.
I wanted to.
All right, I know we said we might. Oh yeah, go ahead, Drew.
No, I just wanted to ask you guys something really quick about Marvel stuff super fast because I noticed on Twitter people talking about Agents of Shield, and apparently next week is another really big. They're bringing in Inhumans. It's an Inhumans heavy episode. So does this
Show Inhumans heavy?
does this muddy the Marvel waters at all, or are people still treating Agents of Shield as a sort of enclosed thing within itself?
I think they're still.
Oh, it's Disney, and ABC is treating it that way. I'm sure people would want to see it connected, but I don't think it has any impact on anything at this point.
Apparently, from the teaser for next week's episode, Ji Yang is in it, and a bunch of the Inhumans from early on in the series. So,
I have not been following Agents of Shield,
Does it
so
have Anson Mount in it? In a non-speaking role?
I don't. No, I doubt, but that's apparently what the teaser was. So I don't know if this muddies the waters as far as the Inhumans' existence in the MCU or not. I just kind of wanted to ask you guys about that really quick. What your opinion was?
Dude, I know Phil had huge issues with the show. I'm watching the show, and it is exactly as Phil said. It is horrible.
It is horrible at this point.
You don't have any of that Kirby aesthetic. The characterization is just garbage. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. minus 20. Like, that kind of writing.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible now. Yeah, I agree with you, Don. I mean, I've seen so far. I've kept up a little bit with the season. I've seen most of the episodes. I thought that it's been kind of crappy. There's really it really is pushing like some levels of CW wokeness in it because there's a lot of Orange Man bad jokes in there and everything else, and of course
they're in the past, aren't they?
Yeah.
There is no whatever.
But they still have to have those kind of jokes because I mean it's crazy and it fell very far because at the beginning, first couple seasons, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. showed promise, but yeah.
Yeah. If they make it canon, though. If they do a Thor Dark World to it and just say, you know what? It was bad writing, but guess what? It's our bad writing.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, there is... Do we talk about it now, John? Oh, wait, you don't have that article yet, do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so...
I haven't looked. Yeah.
Okay, so apparently... a rumor coming from our boy Mikey Sutton over on the Geekosity All Things pop culture group. It's reported that Inhumans will be rebooted under the MCU proper banner. And I think that's the gist of it, from what I understand from the report, right?
I haven't looked at it. But yeah, I think that's what I kind of saw. I haven't like really dived into it yet. But yeah, I mean they've been talking about that, I think.
And it's okay, so the thing is they have to have Kamala Khan as an Inhuman. Her origin story is intimately tied with the Terrigenesis or the Terrigen Mists and what the Inhumans did during the forget which comic run is when they just released the Terrigen Mists on Earth.
Well, see, that's what what OC Steve just said in the chat, and this is like, at least from my understanding, where the waters get muddied is that how do you bring, I thought they were going to downplay, stuff with Inhumans and sort of kind of slowly try to introduce mutants into the mix so that they could have an in to bring the X-Men in smoothly into the MCU.
I don't see them bringing them in smoothly at all. They're going to have to rip off the Band-Aid or go a completely different route with them.
Yeah,
I can't predict they can bring in mutants at this far into the MCU. I don't see them being able to bring in the mutants because by themselves they have a lore that can stand up without any of the other heroes, right? Without any of the other arcs, they're very self-contained.
I mean, it could be kind of easy, or not easy, but you could at least do the 05 pretty easily by having Professor X say, "Oh, during all these years that the Avengers stuff was going on, I was training them, and now that the Avengers are gone, it's time for us to show the world we're here." But that would also not explain how so many mutants could be kept under wraps for years, unless they show up in S.H.I.E.L.D. and that becomes their job, and that's how they tie them back into the MCU. Apprehend mutants or something.
Well, see, Spencer, to your point right there, like OC Steve says, weren't Inhumans used as a filler when the MCU did not own the rights to X-Men or Fantastic Four?
Yeah,
yes, they were. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. So
I've actually admitted that they sidelined sidelined in the comics.
Yeah, so and
what
that's
were you gonna say, Spencer?
Oh, I was just gonna say, but luckily for Marvel, they never committed to altering the origin of any particular mutant to be an Inhuman. So everybody we've seen so far is just an Inhuman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yeah, because there's
on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the twins are just miracle science experiments.
Yeah, and like the people like Ji Yang, that's like Quake's mom. I mean, I guess she's about one of the most notable.
Oh wait, she's the hot chick from Altered Carbon, right?
I think that.
The hot Asian chick.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the bell. Okay.
But I think I want to say that I think she is probably the most notable of all of them, at least as far as I know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I did miss a couple seasons, so I don't know. But I want to say that she's the most notable among Inhumans in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Lore so far.
Quake?
No, the lady that's Quake's mom.
Quake's mom.
Yeah, G.A.
Did I don't understand. Did ever interact with the actual royal Inhumans, like Black Bolt, Medusa, and all that?
No. Not that I know of. I don't think they did. As much as I watched, they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Inhumans... Oh, God, that show.
I didn't watch that at all. I had no interest. It looked like crappy production values. The story did not look interesting at all. I have a feeling they're going to introduce mutants in Eternals. I think that's what you've said that before, right, Don?
Dude, there's
mutants come in Eternals.
There's mutants being peppered into the franchise. Okay.
According to the rumors.
A lot of the rumors are they just show up out of nowhere. I guess there's one where Storm just shows up. There's another one where Omega Red just shows up. And another one where
Omega Red makes the most sense.
Dazzler.
It's okay, we're just gonna pepper them in and not explain why, where, how. None of that's
they're in limbo, man. They're just hiding out in limbo. Magic's got them hiding out there in limbo.
They're on Krakoa.
They're actually been in space this entire time. They've been out there with what the hell is the Empire called? The Shi'ar, yeah, the Shi'ar. Yeah, that's where they're at. They're all there.
I could honestly see them pulling
that. That's like the idea that people are having with Fantastic Four. They are like trapped in some other zone after they launched a rocket, so they'll be like still young when in like
that kind of works.
Still have that.
That does
still
really
have
work.
The quantum realm.
If they do it.
If they do it.
Maybe there's something like maybe they do a riff off of X2. Hold on, Spencer, I need to mute you. I'm getting feedback.
Yeah, my bad.
They do a thing off of X2 where, remember, I think, no, it's the first one, right? The first one is when Magneto is trying to use the top of the Statue of Liberty to basically turn everyone into mutants, right?
Yeah.
First X-Men, maybe they have something
X-Men.
like that where they're some kind of like global event triggers the mutant gene in people and they start actually being X-Men or something.
I don't know. I honestly think that the way that they're going to bring the X-Men is probably through a post credits and New Mutants.
No.
We're never getting that movie ever.
Never
anyway.
getting that movie.
That movie's not actually going to be released.
I want that movie. So does Don.
Well, yeah, but we aren't getting what is 2020 taught you. We are not getting what we want.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, dude, every movie is being pushed back to at least 2021 now. I don't think we'll even. I doubt we'll even see movies in 2020. I mean, they're talking about like right now the discussion is like whether or not to put kids back in school, and that's what, September. So if they can't even like decide whether or not they're going to put kids in school, like you think they're going to put people back in movie theaters?
No, you're right.
No. OC Steve says roll a hard 6 and they will sprinkle mutants through the movies and cameos. Yeah. I think that's more likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Whether or not they explain exactly why they're there is another story. But yeah, I think that's what will happen. They'll be certain characters will show up, like Dazzler in this like rumored A-Force film, like Omega Red in Shang-Chi, like Omega Red in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, isn't Feige smart enough that he'll find a way to like bring him in that's not going to screw everything up?
I don't think it's Feige. I think he's just got to find a crack shot writing team
that
will just be able to bullshit and spectacle enough to have the hand waving. So
they better hope they have a really good
much.
series Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, MC in the diehard MCU fans will accept it. I mean, they accepted that garbage Endgame ending with Captain America, so they'll accept whatever they do with X-Men too.
Toxic Man Flu's idea is funny as hell. Captain Marvel shows up with the pager bringing the X-Men.
Yeah, from Shi'ar Space, didn't you know? That's like Doctor Strange actually transported the X-Men in, and they actually fought alongside the Avengers in the final battle of Avengers Endgame. You just didn't see them because Professor X actually wiped your mind.
Yeah. Whoa! Symbiote back with them. They found the costume machine there.
Yeah, and then Captain Marvel brings Rey over from the Star Wars franchise.
Oh God! Oh God!
Nobody.
Alpha Flight to Weapon X to X-Men. Yep, that's pretty much what the rumor is kind of saying.
Yes,
Wolverine in an Avengers film. Yes.
I'm so in for Alpha Flight. Come on, man.
I like the way that the rumor from Sutton explains it. I thought that was kind of a unique twist. Plus, it was like kind of honors the original appearance of Wolverine when he's up there tracking them down. Yeah, tracking down Wendigo, and then he has the fight with Hulk, and yeah, that just seems. I like that. That seems like a really good film to me. Simple, to the point.
Honor the source material. Wow. Strange thing to be doing.
10-year anniversary edition of X-Men. So remember, Feige released that original Iron Man post-credit scene where Samuel L. Jackson's character says that mutants exist. Remember? Like, so I'm thinking that that's the, like, you don't just drop that if you're not going to be like saying like, yeah, mutants are coming and they're already here. Actually, like that's what that says to me. They're already there, and we just don't see them. And then remember in Iron Man, they also show the the ship, the SR-571 Blackbird or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Iron Man's reverse snap brought mutants in, says Mark.
Nice.
Honestly, that's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, you actually have a point.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Feige's like, how do we make $1 billion? We need to make $1 billion. We don't have parks open. We don't have the movie theaters open. We need $1 billion in 2021.
Right?
Eternals!
Snap!
Eternals! Here's Eternals! Please make money. Yeah, I've seen people think that Black Widow is going to make $1 million. There's no way.
No.
I honestly think the longer this goes, the worse it is for people actually going back to theaters. Like, I'm not missing it. I don't. That's just me. I'm digging dark. There's other things that I'm digging. I've been watching old
What's slated to come out when this is all over.
What's that?
I said there's much better stuff like going on elsewhere than what's slated to come out when all of this is over, like the corona is over.
Yeah, I'm more interested in Snyder Cut on HBO Max.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in like I know like there's a bunch of people that I know Script Doctor and folks are like there's the critics of the Snyder Cut, but I liked that story. I do think that there's an idealized version of Superman that a lot of people wanted to see, but I also think that what we were getting was kind of like Injustice style Superman, and then Batman vs Superman happened, and I think that was hinted at. That was where we got the hint with Injustice Superman, because in the nightmare scene, right? Yeah, OC Steve is right. My Hero Academia is the best. That shit's great. So is Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
100%.
Dude, mangas are killing it right now too.
Yeah.
Over the American Comic Book Company.
And Japan is like open back up now. So they're gonna be cranking that stuff out like crazy. Tower of God. Spencer's loved that series.
I'm digging
Yeah,
One
that
Punch
series
Man.
is great. Way better than any movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, OC Steve says Gundams with sombreros for the win. Not only do they have a sombrero, they actually come from a colony that is in the shape of a sombrero.
That has cactuses growing on it, even though it's in space.
Yes, it is like the greatest colony ever. What is Jason Smoot saying here?
Like Ringworld? Nobody?
No, it's just a cactus. It's a sombrero shaped colony.
Oh, okay.
Space colony. Jason Smith says, while it's something that will obviously be chronicled, I hate current year politics. Okay, yeah, all right. I think everyone does. Mark's asking, did I finish Dark? No, I'm 5 episodes in. I'm probably going to watch an episode after the show just to kind of wind down. It usually takes me a little bit to wind down after a show. My brain is just is on fire, and you can't just go to sleep right after the show because such engaging conversation. Japan should make a manga targeted at the classic American market and reap the whirlwind. Hollywood would go nuts. I think My Hero Academia kind of is that, right?
Yeah, it is exactly what it is.
It's pretty much there. I think you're going to start seeing. They do superheroes better than superhero that's way better
Did you
than
guys,
anything Marvel and DC has.
Did you guys watch the Wolverine anime? Came out of Japan.
No, I did watch the Batman
Years
one.
ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Wolverine as he was in Japan, and it was so badass. The animation quality was like I was watching the '92 version, but it was like it was more streamlined, sleek. Yeah. I highly suggest it.
There was also they've done a straight up Marvel anime where with Disc Wars, Marvel Disc Wars, and that was pretty fun too.
Did you watch the Iron Man one?
Yeah, I actually like the Iron Man one.
Yeah.
So John Wilson, if you're looking for other kind of anime or manga that's American market, I don't know if it's like really American market, but I like I don't know if I have it here. Tokyo Ghoul is really good. I don't see it here. I thought I had it here. It might be in my backpack. That's my hero. But yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is really good. It's so there's like 3 different series though. They kind of jump around a little bit, so it takes a little bit to.
So confusing.
It takes a little bit to kind of figure it out because they do like a timeline jump. And then I don't even think I watched the Square Root one. I don't know. I watched the original Tokyo Ghoul, and then I watched the Tokyo Ghoul, and then I think there's like a Square Root one that was in between, and I think maybe that's where I missed.
Yeah, Square Root is the one that like bumped me a little bit, and I think I lost track after that.
But that's actually really good, manga, and I've read the first volume, so I haven't finished the manga. But I watched all of the anime, and the anime is really good. Good story. It's really about persistence and then fighting for the ones you love. That's kind of the message there, and it definitely has comparisons to classic superheroes. What else is there? Oh, Goblin Slayer, fantastic anime. First season is one of the best. It's basically what the Mandalorian should have been, because he doesn't take his helmet off, he doesn't talk a lot, and he gets the job done. And he goes on different missions, and he kills goblins because his name is Goblin Slayer, and that's what Goblin Slayers do. Deviant Porg is recommending One Punch Man for superheroes. I've heard good things about One Punch Man too.
Yeah, that is actually really good for superheroes as well. Good recommendation.
Yeah, OG Berserk is great and brutal. I got that right here.
Man, we're never going to get a chapter of that again.
Hold on. My missile is making it difficult. Yeah, I got the Berserk hardcover from Dark Horse. I'm still going through it. That's like one of my things right now, just to sit down and have some time to actually read some stuff, and that's on my list. I know John Della Rose has been a guest of the show. He just put up a Volume 2 review, and he has high praise for both Volume 1 and Volume 2. And I will say the quality on the hardcover is super, super nice. And it's not that expensive, so I definitely would recommend it too. Plus the artwork. I mean, the artwork is just I can't show you the first page because we're probably demonetized, but I'm just opening up. I just opened up to a random page here.
Oh. And
you can just see how like absolutely phenomenal that artwork is.
Yeah, it's
really, really good.
It's so pretty. It's some of the best artwork out there ever.
Yeah. And I did watch the movies that are on Netflix, and I enjoyed all of those. Those are really good too. And then I was watching. I think Crunchyroll has the original series that takes place after the movies.
What, 96?
Yeah, I think that's the original series. That's the original. Because then I guess there's like another series that people don't like as much, and I don't think I watched it. I don't think
the 2017.
Yeah, I don't think people like that one. The 96 one.
Nobody should.
Because I think doesn't the 96 one take place right after the movies end?
Right after the eclipse.
Yeah, after
think
like what's his
so.
name becomes a Dark Lord or whatever.
I
the hell he
can't
is.
remember the arcs that they go through, like Lost Children or Black Swordsman, but yeah,
And long story.
happens after that.
All right, so Mark is saying. So Mark, we talked about Dark in the beginning because I was talking like when we do our like things that we're watching here. So I haven't finished it, and I was saying that the season 3, I'm kind of not sold on it yet because I'm not convinced about this separate world and how like I know they're explaining it with like the knot theory and everything, but I'm like not as convinced as the first two. But I mean, it sounds like they wrap it up really good. He's saying it's reminds you how a show could be perfect, unlike Game of Thrones. So. Yeah, I need to finish that then. But I kind of stopped it because I was like, I was just not fully bought into the second world, and everything there. But yeah, OC Steve Guts is the baddest ass toxic male. Yes, he is. I think another. I think Spencer, you actually posted this on your Twitter. Baki is a good anime on
Baki is
Netflix.
amazing. People should check that out if you want some good old fashioned just beat down fighting.
Yeah, wasn't they announced something else, right? Is there like a crossover or something happening?
Yeah, I thought it was a crossover with Kengan Asura, but it's just a special where the two creators are gonna like interview each other and talk.
Oh, well, that's still pretty cool too.
Still pretty cool, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's tons of like stuff coming out of Japan that's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, we're like, and there's a lot of old stuff too. So like, I definitely recommend you join Spencer and I for our G Gundam reviews that we do every Friday. We skipped last Friday for 4th of July, but we're going to be back with episode 8. The classic Mobile Fighter Gundam, which you can purchase as a film now. Absolutely fantastic. The UC Unicorn show that's on Netflix is great. I was also watching. I think Deviant Poor made this recommendation last week. The Viking series, Tales of Vinland, the Vinland Saga, right?
Saga,
on Amazon.
Yeah, so good.
I've watched a bunch of that.
That is also amazing. OCP Steve, good. That's good too.
Yeah. There's tons of really good stuff out there. A lot of it's old, a lot of it's new. I mean, Japan is cranking out some really, really good stuff and has been for a while. So it's 12:15. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We lost Jorge already.
Jorge's having technical issues.
Yeah, his internet is just as bad as Halle Berry's.
Literally
apparently.
just 2 tin cans connected to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make the joke that I was going to make. He would find it funny. He would enjoy it, but I'm not going to make it.
I was going to say he makes fun of it himself the most.
Yeah, he would appreciate it. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. We do this every Wednesday, Batting Live at 9 p.m. around 9 p.m. Eastern. Usually start at like 9:05, so we're on Gary time. But we also have our Trek Tuesdays, which we started 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We've done 2 episodes so far. Those are a lot of fun. We start those at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and that is kind of a show where we just talk Trek. And then we're also new Trek news or any kind of Trek news that's happening. We'll talk that. Yesterday we talked about the Lower Deck show, but then we're also doing a discussion on Deep Space Nine, and next week will be technically it's episode 4.
I thought it was 5
because
no, we're on 4. I
we've only
believe.
done 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's technically episode 4, but if you're watching on Netflix, it's episode 3 because they combine the first 2 episodes into one, Emissary.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and that's kind of we just all talk Trek on that and have a good discussion on Deep Space Nine, and then Fridays obviously is our Mobile Fighter G Gundam reviews. And then I think Spencer and I are going to do Gibiate, which is a Crunchyroll
coming up.
original. Looks kind of interesting, so we're going to check that out and review that probably day of or the day after. We'll see when that is. OC Steve, we'll definitely try and since StreamYard lets more people on, we'll get you on.
That'd be
great. Send me a DM on Twitter, Bounty in the Comics, or DM's open. We'll get you on next week. Love to have you on, talk Bounty Live. So we're
No, I was just gonna say, by extension, guys, we've got around the Bounding staff, you got a lot of good programming because we're all in various capacities covering good sci-fi shows, different genres, things like that. So you've got Trek Tuesdays, you have our Bounding Live panel on Wednesdays as we did tonight, and then you've got also, as we mentioned earlier, on my personal YouTube channel, you got the Pegasus Actual Podcast, which is on Thursdays. And, of course, that covers all your Battlestar Galactica needs. So we cover Battlestar Galactica news on there if there's anything going on. And we have, we are basically right now in season 2 of the run more of Battlestar Galactica. So we're on the back half of season 2, which is when the Pegasus has been introduced. We did the Pegasus episode last week, and now we're doing the continuation of that. So it's going to be really good tomorrow. So make sure you check that out at 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right, we'll go to Don because Drew just did his pitch.
Okay, yeah. So I've got on my channel a kind of a therapy Thursdays, kind of turning into like a bitch session about everything that's going on. That's at 10:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I've got a Rumors and Spec eventually coming up. I'm trying to work on the format so it's more streamlined, and that should be coming out shortly. And then I got Monday morning Mutant Mumblings live stream, and then all the stuff I do with these guys.
Yeah, and we always like to cross-pollinate and cameo each other's channels too. So we're all over the place. You'll always see the Bounding staff running around.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're tight here.
Yeah. All right, Spencer.
So I don't have a YouTube channel like my good friends here, but you can catch me on Twitter at Kabuto Rider Mav right there. I'm basically on all the time complaining about something. But aside from that, you can catch me pretty much every day on Bounding into Comics. And on Friday, please join us for the G Gundam review. It's been a lot of fun, and it's only going up from there. And I promise John has higher standards than liking every episode in a row.
Yeah.
Right. Gotta set you straight. Thank you again all for joining us. We truly appreciate it. And I think we're going to be increasing the programming. We've got some discussions going on. Obviously, we'll be back reviewing The Mandalorian when that drops, I think, in October. Right. So maybe we'll do a Star Wars specific show as well, like we're doing with Trek Tuesdays. And then and just have these kind of more niche, hyper-focused shows like Trek Tuesdays and like our G Gundam reviews. And so look for we got a lot cooking. So just keep following us, and we'll keep you all informed. All right, thank you all very much, and hope you all have a great night. We will see you next Wednesday, and if you want to follow along with G Gundam, we're on episode 8. We will review that on Friday, so maybe we'll see you Friday. Yeah, maybe we'll do Bounding the Sports Ball. We'll see. We'll bring Gary on for that. He'll be our special guest commentator.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah. Take care, folks.